next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports. We're live 11 to 1 weekdays. If you're watching, hit that like button. I'm your host, Jeff Iafrate. You got my guy, Booner. We got Caleb. And we have Shelby on the audio. She's got no voice, so she's kind of battling right now. KG's out for today, but he'll be back. He's dealing with some family stuff, so pray for my guy, KG. He'll be back tomorrow, expectedly. But before we start, we got a lot to get to today. The D-Mac stuff. He joined Woodward Wings, which if you haven't checked that out, please go do that. Woodward Wings is crushing it. It's Justin, Spencer.
That live stream last night was incredible.
Yeah.
They had 1,000 people watching to hear from D-Mac about Dylan Larkin. Especially for Wings, that's incredible.
Thousands of people. I mean,
That's
I think the
insane.
stream's up to like 15,000 right now.
It shows that's what the people want to know. Like, the people are interested.
Well, the people want to hear from, Darren McCarty, which is fair. And he went on, I think the stream's like an hour long, so go watch that. We're going to play some clips from that today. We have the doc on as well, John Maakaron, so we'll get to speak to him about OTAs, probably some unrelated topics to sports as well.
We have, by the way,
he'll say some crazy stuff.
There's a beef going on between me and Doc, for people that don't know.
Well, that's what I asked this morning, if you guys squashed it.
Yeah.
I don't want any tension in this room.
I'm going to say it really early with the Doc. And Jeff knows this firsthand because the Doc and Jeff have gone at it. The Doc can get a little disrespectful. And when you get, and it's not like, oh, we're boys. It's like, hey, man, you can't say those things to me. That's it, and it's like, come on, dude.
He little bro, you a couple times.
No, it's like 100 times worse than little bro.
He definitely.
Like, I did things I would not say on air, and I'm like, Doc. I had to text him and say, dude, come on, man. And he just goes at. It's like the Doc flips this switch and he just doesn't stop.
It's like boss Doc, like it's like boss.
We have to remind him, hey, we don't work for you.
Yeah, he's amazing, though.
Come on, man.
He really
With
is.
a pool like that, you could act any way you
Yeah,
want.
the size of that guy's pool.
Dude, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
Yeah, he's like, Boone, where's your pool? I have like those little kiddie pools that you have to blow up.
Nitty Gritty says Booner's going to stab someone with his hair. The hair looks great today.
I'm going through some hair issues.
What do you mean issues?
I just don't know.
Receding?
I don't know if I should keep putting it up. I don't know if I
handsome.
should switch and just shave it all off and just go bald. Shout out Spencer who cuts our hair. He gives me a nice fade. I battle at the top of this head, man. I don't know what to do with it. And I have for years, dude. I've battled at the top of my head for years.
It's fair, dude.
Any suggestions in the chat? Anything would be sick.
Nitty Gritty also said the most on-time show at the network, LFG boys. Well, I'll take that, I guess.
That's Hey, man. Shout out Easy, by the way. He said this is Bryson. I like the stream. Shout out Bryson, man.
Shout out.
Bryson's going to be the future left guard of the Lions. Give him about, what is he? How old is he? 10? Give him like 13, 14 years, I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong, Easy.
Do you think Easy sits at home with Bryson and just shows him pictures of Jared Goff and this is not our guy?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Just gives him bad stats about Jared Goff, which we do have a Jared Goff topic today, by the way.
For sure. Shout out Easy. Shout out Bryson. Let's get to this Darren McCarty stuff. D-Mac, shout out. I do miss him not being around the office, but the role he's in currently with Woodward is D-Mac.
Yeah.
It's such a perfect role for him. He's out with the people. He's representing the brand, and he's loyal to his core. When things happen, he joins Woodward. He talks about them. He did it with Claude Lemieux. He did it with Dylan Larkin. So D-Mac's the ultimate teammate, and he joined Woodward Wings. And let's play the clip of him talking about the Dylan Larkin trade, and then we'll react to it.
That's the whole thing. This, I believe, will end up being one of the best things to happen to the Red Wing organization. But it's the whole thing about turning your back on your brothers, turning your back on everything else instead of going through it all together that other places have now. I mean, so it comes down to personal choice, and he's made his choice. But what he's done is the analogy is he's playing a poker tournament, and he just moved 10 big blinds all in against a guy who's got 100 big blinds.
Yeah.
You can win, right? But you're getting called, and you got to face it. And now the power's not, in your hand, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Yzerman waited. Look what he did with, Sean brings up all the time. Look what he did to Druin.
Yeah.
And
but that's a little different. Like, Druin is not the
no,
10-year
you're
veteran captain,
right. I would think, Spenny, that it would more speed up because you want it out. But again, Like, he doesn't have
Can't
leverage.
rush it.
He's not. But what's Stevie been known to rush?
Yeah.
Not
you're right.
nothing. He's
Nothing.
gonna and I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke about basically Stevie holding all the cards, and he did. You know, you gotta remember, Stevie, D-Mac, same era, played together. So
For sure.
I not that D-Mac is speaking for Stevie, but I'm sure they share the same sentiment. I think they have the same mindset. So it is good hearing from D-Mac because, you know, he's a legend, but on top of that, he's a former player. And on top of that, he has a relationship with the man who's dealing Dylan Larkin. So when D-Mac says something like, you know, turning your back on your teammates, or I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he's talking about. Like, that's what we've also talked about. But to hear it from him himself, in my opinion, means it's something that Stevie thinks about. And it's the same thing we talked about when Dylan, after the trade deadline, kind of called out the front office, called out Stevie when they had a collapse. And I think this was last year, the year prior. And he said, hey, we just needed some energy. We needed a boost in the locker room. And Stevie comes down and is like, well, that's why we pay our players are paid. I mean, you guys are supposed to give us that boost. I'm sure D-Mac agrees with that same sentiment.
For sure.
It's like it's on you guys in the locker room. So D-Mac's obviously former player. He's for the players. But for D-Mac to have the opinion he has, I think fans who, if there are fans out there that are all on D-Mac's side, or Dylan Larkin's side, and going at Stevie Y, like, there's a perspective you guys should definitely take into account right there.
Yeah.
So,
I think the number one thing, and I go back to this with the Wings all the time, and it's been the same thing for the last 9-10 years when they miss the playoffs, is like you have to get back to the identity that they were at, you know, for the 20 years of winning. You have to find a way to get back to that. And you thought when Yzerman took over, that identity is coming back, and it just hasn't. And it's probably because of the players there, right? Like, we all know, like, does Yzerman have that identity? We know he does. Mm-hmm. We all know that. So from the top down, we know that the top has it. But now it comes down to the players. It comes down to those guys like Mo and them. And the thing is, too, like, this is where I think D-Mac talks about, like, turning your back on your brothers and as well as, like, waiting it out and grinding it out to do it with the guys that you've kind of built this thing with. They weren't great instantly all, you know, when Yzerman was there, right? Like, they had to build something up as well. That's the thing. So it's like when you're sitting there and, like, a guy like Yzerman's like, hey, I grinded this thing out, too. Like, and you go around the NHL, it's like a lot of these guys that ended up, you know, they started their career off not good for the first 7-8 years. Man, hey, stick to where you're at. Eventually, you're going to get over the hump on this thing. And like, at the end of the day, dude, Larkin turned his back. Like, D-Mac's right. Now, the leverage question, that's where I always get into and I talked about this a couple days ago. It's like, I don't know really who has it.
Well, D-Mac said it.
And D-Mac said, Yzerman has the leverage, but really, like, Larkin can also, you know, hey, after next year, he could pick the 10 teams. And I guess if Yzerman wants to stick it out and be like, I'm sending you, and, you know, you got to play with me or for me until then, okay, but then what does that do having a guy in the building that doesn't want to be there?
Well, you got to play.
And that you're not face-to-face with.
It's
an issue.
If Larkin really wants that, you got to play ball, dude. You got to play ball. Like, you can't be like, here's 3 teams that you're not going to get anything back from me for,
like,
and now I want to get traded here.
If Yzerman has all of the cards, Yzerman could be like, you're playing for us. So we're just going to have a Dylan Larkin on our team for the next 5 years that does not want to be here?
Well, of course, no. But that's the power he holds. But that's not actually going to happen. Like you said, if I'm Stevie, you're presenting him with maybe, hey, Dylan, here's more. You got to give me more teams than that. Or here's teams that have the best offers. You choose from these teams. And if not, then I have the leverage here. You know, like, I'm not going to trade you away for pennies on the dollar. I take all the shit. You get to go where you want to go. Like, you're not freaking, you know, you're not, I guess LeBron would be the only comparison. Like, you're not one of these guys that just be like, I'm going here, and make it happen. I get you have a no trade clause, but, like, dude.
That's why the no trade clause is what just always gets me with the situation.
If I'm Stevie, that's
especially
ridiculous.
A full no trade clause, and then after this year it goes to 10 teams. Like, it's an inch. I don't feel like we've just never seen this in sports, especially a captain of the Detroit Red Wings, and that's why I think it's such a big deal. Like, we were talking about, like, all the people who were tuned in to Woodward Wings last night. It's such a big deal right now because it's the captain of the Detroit Red Wings. Like, I told Justin, I said, if this was, like, even Mo Sider or if this was, you know, Lucas Raymond, it wouldn't be this big of a story. It's your captain. And especially for all of us who have lived through good Red Wings teams, you're sitting there going, like, how is this happening with the captain of the Wings? It's an insane situation. It's an insane story. And at the helm of it, guess who's in charge of all of it? The captain, Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy scenario that's happening. I think bottom line at the end of the day, though, we can all agree Dylan Larkin is with this. he did turn his back on his brothers. Like, that's a fact, correct, boys? Like,
yeah, well, like D-Mac also said, by the way, in that interview, which you can go check out, he said there's another guy who's on the team who's from here locally that had a great season. He ain't quitting. Alex DeBrincat. Like,
for sure.
He ain't quitting.
He's not. But Steve-O Baby said, Booner, David Montgomery didn't want to be here. Did anybody call him a quitter? It's a night and day difference, though, with D-Mont. D-Mont was an RB2. You're talking about the captain of the Red Wings.
Yeah, they were holding.
Like,
yeah,
and it was like we compared it to the Stafford situation. Stafford was here for how many different regimes, and Stafford just kept losing. And it's not like the Lions have ever been good, so it's like, hey, this is what it should be. No, like, go on, Stafford. Like, we don't care. It's the captain of the Red Wings that have won all these Stanley Cups, and the guy at the helm is the captain. It's such a night and day difference from any other player or any other situation throughout the city that we've seen. Like the D-Mont one, dude, that's so far from the same thing. So far. D-Mont wanted to be an RB1 on a different team. Larkin's your 1C, and he's not good enough to be that.
And he gets paid like it.
And
we gotta be real here.
It's such a night and day difference with this. Like, that's why I think it's such a crazy situation that's going on.
This comment, I agree with. The way it was done publicly was the wrong way to go about it. He's not Connor McDavid. Okay? Yeah, I agree with that. That's why, come out and being like, here's my 3 teams. You're not By the way, if a team wants to trade for Dylan Larkin, it's very obvious. I shouldn't have to probably say this, but for people that don't think about this, if you're trading for Dylan Larkin, you're a contender. You're not going to want to give up a lot because you still want to be a contender.
Right.
So, like, you're doomed if you know what I mean, in that situation. So, if I'm Stevie, you be patient with it. Let's go to break. When we get back,
I will say, just last thing, I don't want to be in if I'm any of those guys, I would not want to be in the locker room if Larkin comes back next year. That's why I think it just makes this whole thing just very weird.
Agreed. Let me tell you about our friends over at Pure Psychiatry, because if you're going through something like Larkin is, you need people to talk about, and our friends at Pure Psychiatry are the perfect ones to do that with. They got 16 locations in Michigan, 2 in Ohio. They make getting help accessible and comfortable, and if you're thinking about taking that first step, please visit PurePsychMI.com.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. 1's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
The best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Buddy's Pizza has been dominating the Detroit deep dish style pizza for the past 80 years. Follow them on their social channels and join the rewards program to see what they have planned throughout 2026. And they cater. Their menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizza, signature salads, home-style pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next catering order of $200 or more when you order with promo code Woodward20. Visit buddiespizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
We're back. It's Crunch Time, Woodward Sports. More to get to. We got OTAs we're discussing at some point during the show. John Maakaron joining to talk about OTAs. We got stuff coming out about Kyler Murray, and it's exactly what I tried telling you guys about. And we're going to get to that as well.
Can I say something real quick? I just thought of this. When's Halloween? October?
Yeah.
I already know my Halloween costume. I'm going to be D-Mac. That's good, no?
That's a good one.
I'm gonna dye my beard red. I'm gonna do something with my hair red. I'll talk about what I do with my hair. That whatever that cap is that he wears, that's like
He always has sweet hats.
I'm gonna ask him if I can borrow one, and I'm dressing as D-Mac. I'm saying it out loud so no one else can take it, and if someone takes it, you guys heard it here first.
Well, you had 2 costumes last year.
I did.
Wayne's World. You have to do 3 this year.
Well, no, I'm not doing 3. What was I? Wayne's World, and what else? What was the other one?
I don't remember.
Oh, I was the dodgeball, right?
Yeah.
Average Joe's. I was Average Joe's. Yeah.
That was great.
I doubled it up. I was at a Halloween party at Caleb's. Halfway through the night, I just switched it. I went 2.
This comment, you should
Good
be
move.
the blue Kool-Aid man, Booner.
I don't know about that.
You could be a literal Kool-Aid like jug.
I looked up actually. As funny as this is, before we started here, I was gonna. One idea was to have just someone run in here with a Kool-Aid costume. So I looked up a blue Kool-Aid costume. They do not sell them. So I've already done my research. They only sell red ones. Can we like get inclusive here? Can we get other color Kool-Aids, man?
You got to find someone that like makes costumes, and you can probably figure it out.
Custom costumes.
Shout out Nick Kolov, man. He's in the chat as well. Shout out to you, man. Woodward Tigers, another one. Go check that out. He's on heavyweights as well. Check
Shout
them
out
out.
Nick, man. 5'1". He runs a 5'1".
Yeah, he is fast. He is extremely fast. We didn't mention it on the show when we were talking about the heavies and we were talking some ish. That's not fair to Nick. He's a blazer. He's probably the fastest one at this network.
He wears a blazer a lot too. But
he is the fastest.
I will. Hey, I'm going to give Nick his credit because he did come up to me after that day and he said like, "What the hell, Boone?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I forgot."
Yeah,
just straight up forgot.
Guy can
That's
fly.
on me.
I that was on us for not mentioning that. He's probably about the same height as Kyler Murray too, if I'm being honest. Nick Golov?
He's taller.
You think he's taller?
100%.
Sorry, Nick, that was a stray. But the truth is, Kyler Murray, we know he's short, and we know he is overrated. At least I do, and I try telling you people this for a while now. And everyone keeps telling me, Jeff, the Vikings are back. Their Vikings are back because they have a 5'8" quarterback who plays Call of Duty. And I keep telling them, guys, the Vikings last year went 9-8, right? They had a great season. They overachieved based on who they had at quarterback, Max Brosber and everything. And people just assume it's going to be steady progression. And this year they should win 12 games, right? They should be back to where they were with Sam Darnold. I've been telling you guys, it is not going to happen that way, okay? Kyler Murray is not good. He's average. And with Kevin O'Connell, could be slightly above average. Yeah, sure, definitely. But the reality is, just because the team's good doesn't mean if the quarterback is maybe average that he's just automatically going to ascend and be a great quarterback or be top 10 or whatever people want to talk about. And the team wins double-digit games. Do me a favor. Check the schedule, 1. 2, go look at Kyler Murray's past and tell me why you believe the Vikings are some big bad wolf this year. Because the answer is they're not, okay? The team is good, okay? The team is good. Defensively, they got some pieces. Offensively, of course, they got weapons. But the most important position at quarterback, they still don't know who the starter is, okay? Or at least who the future is. Maybe that's a better way to say it. You have J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray squaring off and battling, sharing reps, okay? And we have a clip. I don't know if we can play it. Or
yeah,
if you,
I got it.
Okay, so here's Kyler Murray. And let me explain to people real quick how this kind of story arc has kind of progressed, right? We have Kyler Murray, like, a couple weeks ago being like, yeah, I'm excited I'm working with JJ, kind of like little broing him, but giving him respect, kind of. And then they show JJ being like, it's like 2 kids in a classroom. He's on one side, I'm on the other side. Like, kind of this terrible PR answer, but, he said it. I think after JJ said that, Kyler's answers are now changing. Now it's becoming more of like, all right, we're competing. Now it's like direct enemy versus enemy, which, like, hey, it is what it is. But now Kyler has an issue with some of the things that are happening in OTAs. But let's play the clip. Let's hear from Kyler Murray.
What you give the Cardinals to hear offensively?
I think the toughest part is, again, I was there for 7 years. I know I had 2 different, offensive systems, but at the same time, you're getting all those reps. Now having to split reps, it's me already being behind, not getting the amount of reps that, you would typically want a guy to get learning an offense. That's probably the toughest part, just – again, going back to the past, being in control of everything, understanding what we were already doing because I was comfortable within the system. Now coming into the new system, learning on the fly, trying to play fast, efficient, and let it loose while learning is that's the toughest part.
There he goes, complaining about splitting reps.
I'm gonna say this. I'm in a weird spot when it comes to this Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy situation for a couple of reasons. One, I did last week say that I felt like the Packers were going to be 4th in the NFC North, which, again, we're going to do our official rankings probably in August. So It's all subject to change. But that's kind of my thought process because I do think this Vikings team, and this is the situation I was telling you in the back, they have a good, like, I like their roster. They have good weapons for them. Their offensive line, they've started to build a little bit more. Defensively, they have pieces. The issue is it's the quarterback spot, and you get into that situation to where you've seen what Sam Darnold, who is I would say a good quarterback, not like a great quarterback, but a good quarterback can do in Minnesota, and they win a lot of games with a guy like Sam Darnold, and they just let him walk, just go ahead, leave. That whole situation, and they go, let's go JJ. And what I was telling you in the back, it's like they kind of they did this to themselves at the end of the day. They could have just said, hey, we'll bring Sam Darnold back. We'll let JJ develop for 2 or 3 years. Like, I don't think it's a question whether people think JJ's bad or not. The guy has some talent, correct? He can throw the ball.
Yep.
He can run. He's elusive.
He can indeed throw the ball.
And he can, and at his best, he can make decisions. And I think that's the issue right now is, like, now all of a sudden you threw JJ in the fire last year when he wasn't ready. Now you're throwing him even some deeper fire because now he's in a quarterback battle while he's trying to play well. And then you got this guy, Kyler Murray, who he shouldn't be an NFL starting quarterback at the end of the day. Shady McCoy, by the way, shout out. We had met him at the Combine. I saw a video of him today being like, the one thing I hate in the NFL with quarterbacks are just normal, average quarterbacks that walk around like they're actually good. And he said that's the Kyler Murray vibe that I get from him. To where he just walks around, he goes to the media, and he acts like he's the man. It should be his job. He's talking about splitting reps, and he's mad about that. Like, he should be getting clear QB1 reps. And it's like, dude, what did you do in Arizona the last 2 years that has proven that you should be a QB1 on a different team? You did nothing. He did nothing. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, that's a different story. He was a Pro Bowler. But this isn't 4 or 5 years. It's today. And he has shown nothing. Realistically, guys, he had good weapons in Arizona. Did he not? Because you saw Jacoby Brissett take over and actually put numbers up. And then Kyler Murray goes down, injured. The injury's he's gonna be out for the year. He was not maybe he might have been injured for 2 or 3 weeks. They benched him. The guy just got benched. In Arizona, like one of the worst teams in football, he got benched.
Dude,
and you want him to take over a Minnesota Vikings team that actually has a good roster and good weapons and be like, he won't get benched on a good team. No, dude, he got benched on the worst team in football for Jacoby Brissett. Like, at this point, like, if I'm Minnesota, and people are going to hate to hear this because, Booner, you're a Michigan guy. It has nothing to do with that. Take that away. Just let JJ go and take this job and let him just learn. Like, if you did that last year, just let JJ go.
Well, they don't want to waste another year with a good team.
But they're going to do the same thing with Kyler Murray.
Well, I will say, and this is
that's
where
hindsight, you should have kept Sam Darnold.
But here's the thing. They're looking at it like this. Objectively, Kyler Murray's floor is much higher than J.J. McCarthy's. Floor. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
There you go. There's your answer.
And that's why you just go JJ.
But I literally just agreed with what I said and then went the opposite way. His floor, I don't think you were listening to it. The floor of Kyler Murray is higher than JJ. Meaning Kyler Murray, at minimum.
I think it's just because he's a vet and he's been there and done
because
that.
he's done it. He's proven
That's all it is. It's he's been in the league. He understands.
Like with JJ's floor is like it's a disaster of a year. Kyler's floor,
but the difference
probably,
is like, do you
6 wins?
And I want to ask the chat this. I really want to know this from the chat. Is Kyler Murray the long-term decision or answer in Minnesota?
They're hoping he can be.
But do you really think that?
Hell no.
Caleb?
No, I don't think so.
In the chat, put it in there, yes or no. Because guess what? He's not. So why are you just having him be your kind of bridge quarterback? Because like a bridge quarterback to me could win you games. Is Kyler Murray going out there and winning 13 games for this team like Sam Darnold did, who actually won 14?
People will tell you they really.
Kyler Murray won't. He won't. He's going to go out there. If he starts all year, they're going to win 6 games.
Here's the issue with Kyler Murray. So in Arizona, he had Drew Petzing, and he bombed. He was trash, right, the last year. He was bad. He got benched. The problem with he got injured, but he was soft bench, whatever you want to call it. The problem is Drew Petzing, what he expects out of his quarterback is he wants a pocket passing quarterback. That's what he likes. Kyler Murray is more of a, run around, make plays, like smaller, worse version of like Caleb Williams, kind of how he likes to play football. The problem is it just was a bad mix with Drew Petzing. Now look at Kevin O'Connell. Look at the quarterbacks he's had success with. Kirk Cousins, pocket guy. Sam Darnold, pocket guy who can move, but pocket guy. And then Kyler Murray, who's not a pocket guy. You think this thing's going to go well? No, it's not.
It's not. You know,
it's not going to go well.
I'll say it how it is.
And people just assume because it's Kevin O'Connell, this guy's going to be amazing. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that.
No,
okay?
You have to have still an experienced quarterback.
People don't give Sam Darnold enough credit for what he did in Minnesota. They just don't. You know what I mean? And that it is what it is.
I'll say what it is. You want me to say it? They both probably suck, right? Like I know people are like Booner, like JJ. That JJ probably sucks right now too. Kyler's not good, and you're not going to be a long-term with him. You know what they should have done? If they weren't going to go Sam Darnold, you know what they really should have done? There's a man in Indianapolis who's coming off an Achilles injury who should have been in Minnesota last year. They should have brought back Daniel Jones. And you know what? They let both Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold just walk. And now they're in a situation where they have a J.J. McCarthy who is not even close to fully developed and can't play and win in the NFL. And you have Kyler Murray, who just got benched on the worst team in football last year. That's the situation they're in. And guess what? They just got a GM. So it's like, who was making those decisions anyways? They fired their GM. Why'd they fire their GM? Because they couldn't figure out the quarterback situation.
Well, they drafted your boy. That's why they fired him. J.J.
Yeah,
McCarthy.
and they let Sam Darnold walk. Dude, that GM got fired like a day. If I remember correctly, it was like the week after Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. They were like, we cannot even we can't wrap our heads around the fact that we just saw our former quarterback just win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and you let him walk? What is his name? Kwesi?
Yeah.
Kwesi?
I think it's Kwesi. I think you nailed that. But
Thank
Booner,
you.
kind of to your point, you brought up like the bridge quarterback thing. This is year 3 for McCarthy. Like obviously year 1 he didn't play because of the ACL, but I've never seen a team bring in another quarterback to be a bridge quarterback for a young quarterback that's going into year 3. So they must think that JJ is not the guy. Like to your point, like I think they think Kyler's going to be the quarterback for the next 2 or 3 years, and that's what I think they're hoping, which is not a good look for that organization because,
they
like
really,
you just said, they both stink.
They want JJ to work.
But,
Obviously,
yeah.
they want him to work because it's the most ideal situation. He's a rookie on a rookie quarterback contract. He has some talent. He has physical abilities that you mobile, big arm, stuff like that. Where you're like, okay, if this works out, it's great, it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray. He can't see the field. That's literally what drove
That's
Jacoby
what
Brissett.
Shady McCoy literally was like, dude, if you're a 5'8" quarterback.
You can't see the field. The exception
and you're
is Russell
you're
Wilson.
not a great quarterback. Like, well, Russell Wilson, when he was good, he was great.
Yeah, but
like,
he was 5'11", but he was making plays. He could see the field, even if he was scrambling.
And he was actually a good football
He was the
player in his
exception.
prime. That's the thing. He was actually good. Like Kyler Murray now, he's not.
Yeah,
He's
like
not.
Jacoby stepped in, and everyone started eating on that offense.
So, like, what do you do then? Like, let's say Kyler goes in and wins 9 games. Like, do you just, like, if he wins the job, wins 9 games, do you just give the job back to McCarthy next year?
No, but I guess it depends on where he's at. You're in no man's land. You have to go out and find a quarter. Like this Vikings franchise, dude, they should have over the last 3 years. I mean, they drafted JJ, I guess, but, like, you got it. Like, imagine if they had Bo Nix. You would rather trust Bo Nix probably over JJ.
Yeah.
Especially with the weapons that they have. So they're kind of in no man's land. That's legit. That's what it feels like for them. And the issue, too, the number one thing, what do I say? Jeff, what have I told you about the KOC offense? Is you have to be able to make reads and you have to be able to make decisions quick. Like, you can't hold on to the ball. That's the issue with JJ last year. Was hold on to the ball a lot. Justin Jefferson's wide open, not getting it to him, waiting too late, gets intercepted, something happens. Again, I'm going to keep going back to the Shady McCoy thing. The number one issue that he had with Kyler Murray is the guy does not know how to make reads. And that was his number one issue in Arizona. And Shady McCoy brought up, like, hey, you had all these weapons. And he was like, I've spoke with some of those weapons. Some of those weapons, hey, you hang on to the ball way too long.
It's a problem.
And, yeah, maybe Kevin O'Connell can help fix that. But there's always something in a guy, especially that's 5'8" in that game, where it's like he's going to try and make those plays.
This isn't a second-year player. This is someone who's been in the league for, 7 years?
And that schedule, too. Oh,
the schedule,
Lord.
I'm telling you, go look at the schedule. You tell me what that record is. I'm sick of people hyping up the Vikings.
They might start 1-5.
Let's move on. We'll when we come back, we'll be joined by our good friend John Maakaron from Detroit Lions on Sports Illustrated, talk some Lions OTAs, among other things. But first, if you think Kyler Murray's going to do anything in Minnesota this year, I suggest getting LASIK from our good friends at Yaldo Eye Center. And let me tell you about them. You see it on the screen, the price tag there. It's worth it. Every single penny. If you're tired of fumbling for your glasses or dealing with the daily hassle of contacts, which I hate contacts, it's time to take control of your vision with Yaldo Eye Center. 30 years of experience, 100,000 procedures. They are the trusted experts, and their LASIK surgery is completely painless. Takes just 8 minutes, and the recovery is so fast that most patients are seeing 20/20 the very next day. Check out and take advantage of their summer promotion, just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Wake up with clear vision. Book your consultation today with the Yaldo Eye Center at yaldoeyecenter.com/$60.99.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Water Hazard. I'm telling you, this drink is a hit from Founders. It's the very first canned vodka cocktail from Founders. You can get them anywhere, golf course, or you're out. It tastes delicious. It tastes honestly dangerously good in the best way possible. You don't even notice, and we had these at the Pistons watch parties, and I'm telling you, I was throwing these things back like it was nothing. It's kind of scary, but they taste delicious. One of my favorite drinks to get. So next time you're out, get in the water, get in the drink with Water Hazard. Please drink responsibly. We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. We're joined by our good friend John Maakaron from Detroit Lions on Sports Illustrated, host of the Lone Wolves podcast, and sometimes he says some wild stuff, but that's why we love him.
Wild man.
John Maakaron, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, fellas. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's the end of the year. I am feeling a little bit more tired, but like everybody in the chat, I drink maybe a little bit too much soda, but the doctor called and said, look, all you need is a good nut and you'll be all good. So just drink a lot more coconut water, take care of yourself, and you'll be all good. So just make sure everybody gets a good nut.
Maybe it's somewhere on there.
I think it should be good.
Doc, so I guess we'll just start. I want to ask you, Detroit Lions OTAs, I know they're happening right now and things are coming out. You've been doing a great job covering it. Obviously, we've talked a lot about your articles and brought them up. But just start, what are some things more, kind of updates? I know last week some people spoke and coaches spoke and players spoke. What are some things that stood out to you over the last week or so, and what are some things you're kind of looking forward to seeing before we get into specific storylines?
Yeah, no, look, it was a light practice, man. It was an hour. I was talking with Boone earlier about, we've gotten the third day of practice both weeks. And look, I get it. It's an opportunity for players to get out there. We didn't get to see 7-on-7 drills, but it was cool to, after practice, talk to Luke Altmaier, talk to Derek Barnes. You kind of get a sense a little bit of where players stand from two different perspectives. Luke Altmaier, a player that didn't get drafted, talked about the bitter feeling he felt about not getting, when you have your family around and you expect to get drafted, you think that you have your whole life ahead of you, your dreams, and it doesn't happen that way. But he's very grateful the Lions took a chance on him, and he's using that as a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And then you have Derek Barnes, a player now that's stepping into more of a leadership role, who talked about the fact that last year didn't go exactly as he felt. He felt like it was a fluke season, and now he's a guy that, understands that as a person, he's got to even do more than what a pro athlete has to do to step up and execute. And he spoke honestly and refreshingly. He talked, and gave a human moment where he said there were times where he said, I didn't slack, but there were things I wanted to maybe do in terms of watching extra film or questions I wanted answered, and he would put it off until the next day. He said, now that I'm in this spot after last year, if there's something on my mind football related, I'm going to handle my business right now. And it's just refreshing to see players now understanding that, hey, in professional football in the NFL, there's a very fine line between winning and losing. And these athletes understand that, hey, this year is very serious for the Detroit Lions. Even at OTAs, you're starting to see how the Lions are handling their business and going about their attitude.
Doc, I want to ask you, kind of just deep diving into different position groups. I see that smile there, Doc. I know. Hey, it's good to see you here. I just want to say,
are we all good? How's the beef going between you two?
I think our beef is handled, correct?
Yeah, our beef is definitely handled. I think that we'll talk about it maybe at the end. Me and Booner talk about policies and rules and all the time. We talk about a lot of things. We have no beef.
It's just it's a crazy.
We'll talk about it later.
I would say it's just a crazy world. There's these rules that we don't have a rule book, but there's an expectation at the end of the day. So I appreciate you holding us to that. We'll talk about the beef later. I do want to just a deep dive real quick into the Lions' offensive line. When you're out there, what does it look like seeing Blake Miller out there? I know there's still the whole who's starting at right tackle thing. What's the vibe you're getting in the building there when it comes to Blake Miller? And also, too, what's the vibe with the Penei Sewell to left tackle situation? Do we feel like that's just going to be a no-brainer? I know they spoke about it and they said, hey, this is still the best left tackle or tackle in general in the NFL. What's going on with that offensive line there? How are we feeling?
Yeah, no, look, in the trenches, it's hard to really fully assess because, they're not in pads. But look, you get a sense of what brings Blake Miller to the table. He's competitive. He's somebody that is quick to learn. And really, in the end, his task is to understand the finer details of the game, the checks, the calls, the motions, and to understand Drew Petzing's offense. And, early on, it's going to be a competition between Blake Miller and Larry Borum. It's cool to see. Back and forth. You see the cross training a little bit with other linemen like Miles Frazier and Juice Scruggs. So it's just interesting to see the offensive line. Look, you would expect a first-round pick to end up being the starter and Larry Borum being the ultra vet that can fill in if something happens, or if, early on there are some struggles that maybe are not being addressed in the right way. Penei Sewell, everybody's been talking about him moving to left tackle since he landed in Detroit. And so most people, when Drew Petzing spoke to reporters being in the room, he just said, look, he still looks like the best tackle in football. And yeah, there'll be some minor adjustments that need to be made in terms of footwork and hand placement, all that kind of stuff. But look, Penei Sewell is expected to be the guy that's going to protect Jared Goff's blindside. I'm very comfortable, as should Detroit, with Penei Sewell handling business. I think that everybody has a sour taste in their mouth, and Penei Sewell among them does not want to relive what happened last year. He wants to have an offensive line. Look, they take pride. The Lions, first and foremost, that offense, the engine is that offensive line. I think everybody, when they saw what happened last year, falling well short of expectations, each and every member, even new players, understands the importance of this year, that offensive line gelling. I think Penei Sewell and Blake Miller are going to be part of the revival of the offensive line and the offense this year, having another strong season, scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, Doc, I wanted to ask you, and I'm sorry, we had just some issues hearing you, but first, I don't know if you already said it, but I want to ask you about Christian Yzerman. Did you address that already, Doc?
No.
Okay, let me ask you, because we talked about it. We talked about it with me and Booter talked about it yesterday. He was kind of filling in with for Kirby Joseph a little bit. I know it's early, it's OTA, so we can't get too ahead of ourselves. But what do you think that says about the player Christian Yzerman and how excited the Lions are to kind of use him as kind of a chess piece with some of those safeties dealing with some stuff?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, now it's always interesting to kind of the way in which we report on where the players are playing. I tend to be a little bit more conservative in my reporting, trying to avoid, misstepping and not reporting exactly, depth charts and trying to follow, like I was telling Booner, I get an email with like 10,000 words on it and you can report this and you can report that. I try to follow the letter of the law, but, it's a little liberal, in regards to saying, okay, we can say that out there I'm observing Christian Yzerman playing free safety. He's the deepest safety on the field on that first field. So that's the Kirby Joseph spot. So if others say it, great. I can say it too. And it's awesome to see what the Lions are doing. Now, that's the biggest storyline is, more and more people based on OTAs are feeling a little bit more comfortable at safety. I'm always of the opinion, and that's just me. It's a bias on my part. I'm always looking at more. What could you do here? Look, the Lions, by most accounts, are comfortable at safety with Avonte Maddox, Rocky Sin, Christian Yzerman, Chuck Clark. There's an emerging Thomas Harper who's going to compete. But my brain just always kind of maybe, I've told you guys in previous interviews, I kind of always look at it like a GM. So this morning I wake up, I take the kids to school, I sit down, get some coffee, and I'm like, all right, who are some players that are on the last year of their contract? And a name pops up. So I wrote about it at Lions on SI. His name is Grant Delpit. He played former draft pick, and he had a really good season for the Browns last year. He's on the last year of his deal, earning $12 million. And I just looked at it and said, you know what? If the Lions were to make a trade, I know some would say and beat a dead horse and say, let's get Max Crosby and let's get guys Doc. That maybe the Lions will never. Listen, I've written that 50 times, but now you have to look at it and say, okay, I obviously would love a big splash, but if the Lions are not going to do it, what position would I like the team to continue to upgrade? I looked at it from the safety spot. Grant Delpit's an interesting player. Now, he fits the profile. Played at LSU. Your defensive coordinator coached and had a relationship with LSU. He had an injury history early in his career, but he had a good year last year on a 5-12 team for the Browns, and I think he's an interesting name to watch. If maybe later on in the year, if the Browns tank again, maybe that's another guy you add if things don't go right with Kirby Joseph. But to me, I'm always looking to upgrade that room. But by and large, I think going into training camp, the safeties room is a little more comfortable than most people expect. But I understand the angst because you don't have Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. It changes things up so much. I just wish the Lions had an opportunity to see those two guys on the field together a little bit more.
Is there, by the way, I do want to ask, do you have anything on the Kirby Joseph situation outside of what we all might already know? Is this a dead situation? I don't want to say career over, but it feels like when Dan Campbell comes out and the guy had a whole year of kind of getting rehab and getting back, and everyone in the world thought that he was going to at least be back this offseason, and then you get to OTAs and your head coach is literally, the words are literally, I don't know. That feels like it's a massive concern. So is there any news that maybe behind the scenes? I know you can't share everything, but what can you tell us about this Kirby Joseph situation going into this year?
Yeah, no, look, and here's the best way to describe it. You take it at face value. I can't, logistically speculate on what's going to happen, but here's what is fair to assume, okay? Obviously, he's not participating in true football activities right now. What Dan Campbell said was, look, in terms of what he can do before he takes the field, he's doing everything. He's taking all the opinions. He's getting all the treatments he feels will help give him the chance. So basically, it's okay, you have this player rehabbing. They are not going to know. The Lions will not know. And I trust Dan Campbell in what he's saying. He's saying, look, I trust the player did everything humanly possible to get out on that field. But what's going to happen is until he participates in a true practice, true fluid movement, stop, start, different adjustments, until he goes through a full workout, the team doesn't know. And that's what's scary, and that's what should scare a lot of people is there is a chance then, obviously, that, I would expect that, he's going to go out there, he's going to give it a best effort, but the biggest question mark is going to be, how does that injured knee respond to the grind of football-related activities? It's clear it's being looked at as an issue that is going to be lingering in terms of the pain, and so it's a maintenance issue. And when Dan Campbell first talked about that last year, that's where the true concerns lie. There should be concerns, but by and large, where Kirby Joseph needs to be right now is where he should be, which is taking care of the knee, getting as strong as possible, and the biggest question mark will be when he's actually out there, because Dan Campbell said, when we ramp it up, there's no going back. So that day will be a heavily scrutinized day. A lot of people will be watching and analyzing it, and so we shall see. But fingers crossed, there are players that have had those type of issues and have had successful careers. But bottom line, whenever you're talking about a knee and a player at that position, there should be an elevated level of concern for sure from the fan base.
What about some other players, Doc? A lot of injury question marks here. Sam Laporta, TA, guys that are kind of dealing with issues. I know Brian Branch, you're not really worried about him right now, but is there any other updates you can give us about those other players, kind of around OTAs, or kind of what a timeline looks like? Not that you know the exact timeline, but what have you seen out of those guys?
Yeah, no, look, it was good to see Sam Laporta out there. It was good to see Terry and Arnold. Obviously in the early portions, he didn't do the positional drills. They did the, walk through, jog through type stuff. Look, Sam Laporta has kind of laid it out. He said he expects that he'll be a full go by the time pads are on at training camp. So I expect that timeline to be right there, even though there is trade speculation and rumors and talks. But I don't think the Lions are ever going to trade Sam Laporta.
Yeah, Doc, what do you think about that, by the way, the trade Sam Laporta stuff? Where's that coming from? I mean, I get it. I guess I get it, but why? What's going on?
Okay, and it's great. Look, this time of year from May until August, it's speculation season. It's, hey, what if the Lions did this? What if the Lions could do this? Remember, okay, and it starts with me. All right, I look at, and some people are like, well, why do you always look at what winners do? Well, because the Lions have never won. So I'm definitely hyper aware of what the Seahawks do, what the Rams do, what the Eagles do. And it's really, people ask me online, and I feel bad saying it. I'm like, why would I not pay attention to what a Super Bowl winner does? Remember last year, DK Metcalf or so, prior to the Seahawks, big players get traded, and it helps to add capital. Remember, the Lions are a team that are predicated on draft and develop. Well, lately, and it wasn't in the early tenure, but lately Brad Holmes has been giving up capital to target players. So in essence, you look at it and you say, okay, which players on your roster, analysts and pundits will say, which players on your roster that you are facing a contract, could you maybe trade to get some capital? And most people believe, well, you probably could net 2 good draft picks for Sam Laporta. The problem is that, he's your number 1 tight end. You don't have one in the pipeline to kind of take that spot. So I understand the speculation. I have never been a guy that shies away from speculating about trades. I write about it all the time for 10 years. People read it. It's interesting. But if you ask me logistically, realistically, Doc, are they going to trade Sam Laporta? I would say no. I think that what he can do in Drew Petzing's offense is going to make him probably more money. So I just think that it's fair to talk about, because if you're a draft and develop team, the idea is sometimes you have to trade players to get capital. And eventually the Lions cannot logistically pay everybody. You can't pay Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and then move forward and pay Terry and Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. You just can't. Somebody is going to have to be the odd man out. And most people, will talk about Sam Laporta because of that tight end spot, because, man, nowadays, college, there's a lot of good tight ends coming up in the next couple years.
Hey, what do you think, Doug? I know this is probably a harder one to answer because you don't get to see. We were actually texting about it yesterday. Like, you don't get to see full on, 11 on 11. So it's hard to kind of go through those position battles. But when you're talking about OTAs right now, what are the kind of most important position battles going on throughout these OTAs situation heading into training camp that you're looking into?
Yeah, no, you just want to see who is making a push. Obviously, I think that Christian Mahogany's spot is safe, but he's going to have competition from Miles Frazier. I look at a key battle now. I know it's a name people always message me jokingly. They're like, who? Ennis Rakestraw. We've seen him on the outside. Most people, I thought, would see him competing at the nickel spot with Roger McCreary. He might be battling for an opportunity to be a reserve on the outside. Terrion, Ennis, and DJ Reed might be those an opportunity there, with Nick
Good
Whiteside
him,
to have an opportunity to play cornerback. So I'm very fascinated to see what Ennis Rakestraw, how his role evolves. Other battles as well. The safety battle, like we talked about, there's a handful of safeties behind Chuck Clark and Christian Yzerman that have a chance to do well. Thomas Harper has a chance. Dan Jackson, the second-year player who was, lost his rookie season. And then obviously one in which Christian's going to write about. It's an interesting competition, but one in which we all understand Isaac Tesla is clearly established, probably going to be the third wideout, but there's a plethora of wideouts on this roster battling for playing time. Greg Dortch, Jackson Meeks, Dominic Lovett, Tom Kennedy, all those guys vying for playing time. So it's going to be very interesting to see. The vet, Cedric Wilson. So there's going to be opportunities to see the third and fourth wide receiver spot in training camp when it evolves. So a lot of good competition at a lot of different spots. And then most notably, too, I think the spot that we think we're wondering where the depth is going to come from is the interior of the defensive line. We all like Aleem McNeil and Tyleik Williams. I'm fascinated to see who's going to step up behind those guys to earn the vet role spot in terms of maybe backup snaps and opportunities.
You did say something that I thought was interesting there, Doc, and I want you to expand on it. Christian Mahogany's spot is safe?
Yeah, I think
Explain
that,
to me,
right now.
I'm not going at you. I'm just, because people are
Yeah,
probably
no. Right now, today, if we're talking depth charts on an unofficial basis, I think it's Penei Sewell, Christian Mahogany's your left guard, Cade Mays, Tate Ratledge, and Blake Miller. That's your starting
offensive line. But does that mean it's
line.
safe, though? Because he was pretty bad last year.
He was. But remember, draft picks get, the benefit of the doubt, and they really like what he brings to the table. He's now healthy, and so the competition will be there. Of course, that's why I brought it up. There's definitely battles to be had, and I think that you realize that a player like that, who obviously has struggled with health and his performance out there, inconsistent, I think if he's healthy, his spot will be safe. But you're absolutely right. It's not one of those deals where you say, okay, you just write him in right away. But right now, I think as the incumbent, as somebody that has been on the roster, I think that he's got a little bit of a leg up. But of course, Miles Frazier has a real strong chance to earn a role.
Realistically, like you're talking about a draft position, there's a player that was drafted ahead of him the next year, Miles Frazier, who was a 5th round pick instead of a 6th round pick. Feel like that really should be an option at left guard. Should be Miles Frazier.
You got Ben Barch in there too, Doc. They got a couple bodies. Juice Scruggs. I don't know.
That's where it's going to be fun to see at one of the other storylines we're going to see at training camp is going to be which starters are going to be forced to play in the preseason. I think a player like Christian Mahogany could be thrown out there and maybe even a Blake Miller say, hey, okay, let's get a little bit some cohesion with different type units. And I think that's going to be something to watch is what level of involvement will some of the established starters have in the preseason, and definitely one to watch. Yeah, I think his spot is safe now, but yeah, when the competition hits, I can't wait to see it. And you're right, Miles Frazier will be knocking at the door, no doubt about it.
Well, I guess I want to bring this up before we get to you. We could chop it up before because we got a break in about 6 minutes. But I do want you and Booner to talk about give the people the background on what happened. But before we do, I read an article on Sports Illustrated, Detroit Lions on SI, and it was Bill Barnwell, NFL analyst, said the Detroit Lions will be the team that regrets not trying to be more aggressive for Myles Garrett the most out of any team that could have traded for him. He thinks the Detroit Lions will regret it. What's your opinion on that, Doc? Do you think there's some truth to what Bill Barnwell is saying, or is that just yapping to yap? What do you think?
No, look, people look at it and you say, okay, the Rams were willing to trade draft picks for proven players. Look, it's a proven players league. And I understand that the Lions are looking at it a little bit from a different perspective. They're looking at it like we added defensive ends. We added Derek Moore, DJ Warnham. We have Ahmed Hassani on the roster. We've addressed the position. But like many pundits and fans would look at it and say, well, would you rather have Derek Moore, or would you rather have Max Crosby? I mean, it's all about and listen, you can opine till you're blue in the face, but bottom line, I understand the fans that say, look, will you draft and develop? But that type of thought process has only led you so far. What would happen if the Lions added a player of Max Crosby's caliber? Wouldn't that in theory improve your defensive line, help you get to the quarterback, help your offense a little bit more? So to me, I understand the realistic, cap ramifications. He's getting older, the injury concerns, the 2 draft picks. For me, and I think a lot of people, I don't care about draft picks, okay? Because by and large, most draft picks are 50-50 proposition. I like guys that I've seen on the field that have been proven to wreck games. And so it was a great question that Dave Burkett of the Free Press asked. He asked it directly to Dan Campbell. When are you guys going to potentially be in the high-end trade market? And I think that's where maybe some of the teams, not even the Lions, all teams in Detroit, they've just been a little bit afraid to push into that high-end market to declare that, hey, we want to win. Because when you do that, you're putting your intentions out there. But I would, me personally, much rather be the Rams than the Lions right now. They're in it. They're the Super Bowl favorites. They have a good team. And now they're talking about maybe even getting Aaron Donald back. And I know he's 35 years old.
Issue.
But going into the season, I would much rather be the Rams right now than the Lions.
Hey, one last question that I have here, Doc, for you. It's kind of just with the offense. What are your kind of thought process when you're going into this season? It feels like obviously they've had top 5 offenses, and then you're adding Drew Petzing into this. But the biggest thing to me, and I keep seeing it online, is everyone's expecting Jameson Williams to take a massive jump again after he has already for the last 2 years. And then also you're adding Sam Laporta to this equation. So, and even on top of that, Jahmyr Gibbs is getting more touches. Like this offense feels like it's going to develop into hopefully a different offense. What are your thoughts on kind of how they're going to go about splitting up these carries and these targets? Like, it's going to be a weird situation because there's so many. I know we've said it for years. There's so many players that, and there's one football. But it feels like this year with J-Mo, like people want J-Mo to be a Pro Bowler, but you still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Like you have an all-pro wide receiver, and then you are adding another all-pro tight end. Where are you at with this? Like, how do you see this offense going with Drew Petzing?
Yeah, there's so many mouths to feed. Jahmyr Gibbs expected to be the bell cow. So a great question that was asked on the Lone Wolves podcast, which airs daily now in your guys' former nighttime spot on the YouTube space. They were asking, okay, if Jahmyr Gibbs is the bell cow and he's expected to get 20 touches a game or more, who potentially is the player that is going to maybe not get as many targets? Most people believe Amon-Ra is going to get his. It might be J-Mo, where he doesn't get fed as much, especially if you're going to target Sam Laporta and Isaac Tesla too. So it's going to be interesting to see how the football gets distributed. But first and foremost, I think you can assume Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get his. Amon-Ra sets the tone. You want to get him involved pretty regularly. The question mark is going to be something to pay attention to early in the season. An early 2026 storyline is how many touches does J-Mo get? And I just think that from this perspective, if you're playing fantasy football, I may wait a little bit to draft Jameson Williams, because I could see his production being boom or bust every week, where 1 week it's 2 catches for 60 yards, and the next week it's 9 catches for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it's going to be a roller coaster. I don't think you can predict consistency with Jameson Williams because there are so many offensive weapons. He's going to be featured in the offense, but I think we can only go by patterns, and we've been talking about this for the past couple years, is that I think we've overestimated the catches, the targets for Jameson Williams because of the fact that he is a deep threat. Teams are going to look at him and play too high safety to try and take away deep options. So I could see Jameson Williams maybe getting off to a slower start, but I think he'll still be productive. I still see 1,000 yards. But early on, I think if you ask me who's the player that might see less targets and catches, it might be J-Mo.
Doc, we appreciate the hell out of you, my friend. Can you keep up the great work? I mean, you got some time off coming up here. You know, you get a little bit of the off season. You deserve it, so enjoy it. Can't wait to speak to you next week, Doc, and we'll kind of continue this mission as we get closer to the season, you know, and then we'll have Doc on every single week.
Let's plan out this barbecue that we're having at your house at the pool. Why aren't you at the pool today? What's going on?
Yeah.
You did say you were next week you were going to jump in.
It's hot out there, and I wanted to talk in a professional setting. I didn't want to jump in. But real fast, I just wanted to tell everybody what the issue was with Booner. I found out, look, my issue with Booner is, you know, private, but look, I don't want to talk too much politics, but I found out through sources that Booner is a big fan of Mike Cox for governor. And when I found out, I said, Booner, that's private. I don't care if you're a fan of Mike Cox. Okay, no big deal. But when we hung out, we hung out, Jeff, go look now, go outside and look. Booner has a I Love Cox sticker on the back of his car. And I was like, this is not appropriate to talk politics with me. And I'm like, look, Booner, I don't. It's policy that in sports you don't really talk politics. If you like Mike Cox, that's your business, man. That's nothing of us to discuss freely. So go support Mike Cox for governor on your own time. But just take that sticker off your car. When I saw that, I didn't know how to act. I'm like, what do you mean? I love Cox. It's some weird political
hey, Doc,
thing.
if I had the sticker on there, what car do I drive?
Listen,
I
want to
keep.
Listen. Our main issue was keeping private information private. So I don't want to reveal the car you drive. I don't want to reveal.
Well, I think everyone knows the car that we drive. We talk about it all the time.
You might have stalkers. You might have now weird stalkers based on your political views and the people that you support. So I just want to keep private information private and protect your sources. That's all.
He drives an electric car, Doc.
I do not.
See, exactly. That's why I don't want all the V8 engine guys hating on you, my friend.
I drive an F-350.
Doc, we love you, my friend. We'll catch you next week.
Love you, Doc.
See you guys. Talk soon.
There you go. John Maakaron, Detroit Lions on SI.
What a legend,
Check
dude.
his stuff out. Learn something new every single day. But
I didn't even know Mike Cox was going for governor.
Well,
didn't even know.
I did see a commercial. I was like, that is not real.
Wait, is that actually?
Is that a real name?
No, I thought he was joking. Are you sure?
Mike Cox, yeah.
There's no way. I got to look this up.
Have you checked out his proposals?
No, I'm good on that.
Let's go to break.
See, this is the thing. I need to really step up and run for governor.
Tell us about our friends over at Loom, Caleb.
This is real.
Yeah, Loom. Summer just got a serious upgrade, introducing new Buzz and Energy. It's the same smooth THC buzz you love, now paired with a clean boost of caffeine from green tea extract. Made with real fruit, no artificial sweeteners, Buzz and Energy is bold in flavor, light in calories, and built for long summer days and even longer nights. Tried in refreshing peach and raspberry lemonade. Crack a can, catch a buzz, and keep the good vibes going. Available now at all 40 Loom locations across Michigan. Learn more at Loom.com. And Jeff, tell us about Planet Fitness.
I got you. Planet Fitness. I was there this morning. Over 2,700 clubs nationwide with 50 Metro Detroit. You can access them anywhere. It's better than those local gyms. You know, I used to have a local gym membership. You had to drive all the way to the gym. Planet's everywhere. They got one in Royal Oak. They got one in Claus. They got one everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. There's no excuse not to get into Planet Fitness. It's only $24.99 a month. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
Drive Energy pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Mic cord swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Drive Energy pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Buying a home or refinancing is a massive decision, arguably one of the big decisions in your life. And just like in sports, you need the right team behind you, and why not have the best team, Supreme Lending? And here's the game changer, by the way. When you apply for an eligible loan, mention Woodward Sports, you will receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score this deal, call the numbers on your screen. Talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
And let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's, one of the greatest spots of all time, actually. Summer nights, cold drinks, and Tigers baseball.
What?
Woodward Sports is heading to Art and Jake's in Sterling Heights for Detroit Tigers watch party. Come hang out with the crew as we will be live Tuesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. as Detroit takes on the New York Yankees. Oh, that's an incredible watch party, by the way, boys. That's unreal. You won't want to miss a single pitch. Over 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and that keeps you refreshed. And the menu packed with absolute fan favorites. They do have a Crunch Time. What is it called, Caleb? Crunch Time what?
Crunch Time Bites. They're
Crunch Time Bites,
amazing.
unbelievable. We had them the last time we were there. Come party with us and grab Founders and watch the Tigers take down the Yankees in Sterling Heights on June 30th at Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We're back. It's crunch time, Woodward Sports. We just got off with John Maakaron. He's always a great guest, and if you missed it, you can always rewind and go watch. He talked about OTAs, everything that's going on, battles happening at OTAs. We got more to get to. I want to get to the chat because the people are chiming in here, and they love the Mike Cox bit, okay? And if you were probably confused about that.
He's a real person.
Google,
I don't think it's a bit. I think it's real.
No, yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
it's
saying.
he just sent me it.
Google Mike Cox. Mike Cox, okay? Don't mess up that when you Google that, okay? And then you'll find what Doc's talking about. It's a real thing.
I don't know. We don't need to get political here. The Doc just forced my hand with this Mike Cox thing. I don't know if this guy's. I told you guys. I don't know if he's left, right, middle. I don't know.
The guy's name is Mike Cox. I mean, that's all you need to know.
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
I can do my research on Mike Cox.
Yeah, can we have like a homework assignment? Can we get like a 5-minute Mike Cox segment tomorrow?
Hey, Hoofhearted said in the chat, Blake Miller will be better at right tackle his rookie year than Sewell was his rookie year at right tackle. Miller is a better RAS scorer and already started 4 years at right tackle compared to Panay swapping over to right from left.
Panay did struggle his rookie year. Like it wasn't like it was a known thing that Panay was struggling a little bit, just making that switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't think he's completely off there. There are definitely moments where Panay struggled his rookie year, but it's like, okay, Blake's going to be better than Panay his rookie year because Panay had to switch to right. Like, what does that look like for Blake? If I'm being honest, like I've said this too, people expect this offensive line to hit the ground running. It's not going to do that. You know what I mean? It's not. It's going to take time. These guys, I mean, they're shout out. They're gambling together. Not trying to throw those guys under the bus. They're having fun. They're hanging out. Once they get out there and you're facing off against
it means nothing.
It means nothing.
Well, they had the Pistons playoff games together. Cool.
Yeah, they have to go out there and actually
what's
play
that mean?
And stack reps. The thing about that 2023 offensive line that was so great was they had so much time together playing. I mean, Frank was already there, and Taylor Decker there. Panay was there going into his year 2, year 3. Like, it's just different. So give them some time. And I say that not to try and poo-poo on it. I'm just trying to be level-headed here. So when we get week 3 into the season, I don't have the chat saying, Jeff, this offensive line stinks. Trade everybody. Like, I'll be like, guys, I told you so, okay? It's going to take time.
What week are we talking about? Because we had this conversation last year about...
When's the bye week? Week 5, 6?
6.
By then. I think you'll see if you don't, after the bye week especially, I think you'll see you'll be like, okay, we're getting to where we want to be.
I think for any rookie, especially as offensive line, dude, that's a tough position.
Yeah, Tate Rowledge went through it, bro.
Yeah, but you see Christian Mahogany, like he's in year 3 now, and he struggled for last year.
Yeah.
I watched back, again, I told you guys, I watched that Steelers game last week. Dude, Christian Mahogany was getting destroyed. It was a bad look. I see why people were like, this guy needs to go, and we need to try Miles Frazier, because that game was it was brutal. It really was.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. I do. Let's see. People are just talking about Mike Cox. That was honestly on us now. Now the chat's going off about Mike Cox. So I
still can't really figure out what this guy's all
I throw
about.
my hand up. That's on me. Okay? I kept it going. Now the chat's talking about it.
Is he like in the lead for the governor?
I don't even know what he's running for. I genuinely don't know.
I think it's governor.
Is
I'm
it?
pretty sure. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's a governor.
Well, you're a supporter of him, so you should know.
I'm learning. I'm still learning, man. I'm telling you, one of my goals in life, I have a handful, but I think I'm starting to turn one is like I want to just become a fun politician, like a non-corrupt politician. And then eventually,
I think you'd be corrupt so fast.
Really,
Yeah.
you think so?
I think, dude, yeah.
But eventually, like, imagine if I'm the governor. How sick would that be?
You'd be like the judge who gave basically Brendan Sorsby a slap on the hand. That'd be you in politics.
Okay.
Like your boys would do, like Caleb would do some
Well, to be
crazy
fair,
shit.
the
You'd
first
be
thing I
like,
think of with the governor is the governor has a house on Mackinac Island, and I would literally just tell all the boys and everyone's just like, let's go. Like every weekend, like let's go up to the island. Like, how sick would that? There's a golf course there. Play it for free. Oh.
You'd give everybody like free play for parlays.
Oh, 100%. I would make sure there's no tax. That'd be like my biggest thing. No tax on any sports gambling in the state of Michigan. That'd be my first thing doing. I'd be like 80% of the votes.
I don't think me and you are winning
dude,
enough
you'd be
to have
like
to worry
raising.
about
You're
the
basically
tax.
be like multiplying
I won enough last year.
You got
Off
taxed?
that one parlay, yeah, I did.
Oh, that's
I had
bullshit.
a plus 40,000 parlay, dude.
That's bullshit. They actually tax you for that?
Yeah, you get a
That's
tax
stupid.
form.
That's dumb.
So yeah, I was profitable last year. People are like, Booner, you don't win bets. All right.
Guy's paying taxes on his bets. Chief got in the chat. Shout out to you. He says, "You think JMO would get more involved every year? It just hasn't happened."
It was
Don't
interesting
worry.
actually because everyone's saying like you think that he like potentially has have a little bit of a jump. The doc was like, I think he starts slow. That's interesting.
No.
That was the first person I've heard actually this offseason that said JMO starts slow.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with Doc on that. I mean, this is a player who's going into how many years into this, in playing with Goff. I'm talking chemistry-wise. Now, offense, different offense. Okay.
He is getting better, but again, it's like, dude, you can't. Everyone can't get these touches. Like I had the conversation with KG last week. I was like, all right, KG, like who are you taking the ball from?
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be taken away from other players like
Amon-Ra
St. Brown.
It's not going to, though.
No, it is. It actually is.
It won't.
Because, and I'll explain why. Because unless you want to say, and I know you're already
because we said the same thing last offseason.
No.
And guess what happened? Nothing.
Well, he career high and everything, and he didn't get
He
the ball half
did,
the year.
but
So-
Amon-Ra still had 1,400 yards.
Yeah, but here's the
or
thing.
1,500.
And Laporta was hurt for a while.
Laporta was
too.
also hurt. And here's the other thing I'll add, too.
To my
You're
point,
already
Laporta's back.
got the ball last
Hold
two.
on. You're already dug deep in the trench with your Amon-Ra St. Brown offensive player of the year
He
thing.
will-
I didn't say that. He's going to get
Oh.
12. He'll probably be around where he always is. You can still have another 100 yards for JMO this year.
You are not taking the ball out of St. Brown's hands. You just won't. He's a first-team All-Pro wide receiver. He's literally a top 4 wide receiver in the NFL, and you're going to be like, hey, let's take the ball out of his hands. Yeah, JMO is explosive.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you mean?
But why
take the
would
ball?
you?
It's not saying he's
but
not.
why would you just be like the guy that's most consistent for it? It was the argument with
He's your
KG,
biggest-
the
he's
guy
a-
in third and
he
fourth
is-
down who makes the catches and doesn't drop the ball.
JMO changes. He's like what Kirby does on defense with turnovers. JMO can do that in one play. He can change. He's a one-play touchdown. He's your like not secret weapon, but he's your specialty.
He is, but you don't want to
Amon-Ra's always
going to
get his, dude. He's always going to get his. Like,
Well, the Doc also said like it could be a roller coaster like it was last year. Like you might have a game where he has 6 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. Then next week he might go 2 catches for 35 yards. Like, yeah, he could take the top off of defense and he could totally change a game with his speed. But I'm kind of with Booner here. Like they're not. Those third down balls are going to Amon-Ra St.
every
Brown.
time.
They're going to go to Sam Laporta. Those are your sure-handed guys.
It's about
like,
It's
yeah,
earning
but-
the trust. And last year,
he's earned the trust, dude. He's earned the trust.
he has. But like again, I bring up the fact last year, like the Green Bay game, they went to him 4th down, go win the game.
Amon-Ra, Eagles drop. Yeah, drops happen.
But 90% of the time, Amon-Ra's catching those.
Yeah, he doesn't have the hands Amon-Ra has, but guess what? He gets 1,100 yards and how many less catches?
Agreed. I think that's it.
He
I
can.
think that's
You can
it.
have
It's-
less catches. He can still produce. I never said one thing about catches. I'm saying yards. What's his yards per catch? You guys want to
no,
tell
the
me?
yards are going to be there.
Oh,
But
what are we
I
talking about?
thought you were saying like targets, and that's not his fault that the targets might not go his way.
No.
But he's still going to go north of 1,000 because like we've been saying, he could take the top off of defense. But like I don't think the volume's going to be there as much as people think.
I'm not arguing catches. I'm saying production. He's going to have a good year production-wise.
He
I
has the
talked
last
about
2
that.
years. Like it's not going to change. My issue is it's just we're like when we had this conversation. It's like, oh well, just take a couple away from Amon-Ra. I can guarantee you, and we can make a bet. They're not taking he's still going to get 100 15 catches.
Like, is taking those targets away from Amon-Ra, is that good for your offense? No,
Probably not.
it's not.
And then to my point exactly, you said it a second ago with Laporta. You're also saying here, well, last year J-Mo did what he did, right? 1,000, and you're expecting more. You're adding Sam Laporta, a guy that's going to get 50 to 60 more catches this year. That's more. The math's not mathing.
Okay, so
not.
we're just not going to target the guy.
I
who's
took
our,
algebra. It's 1 plus 1 equals 2.
We're not
This
going to
isn't
target
happening.
the guy who's our biggest playmaker
I'm not
on
saying
the field.
don't target him, but what I'm saying is people being like, hey, take some from Amon-Ra. Not going to happen.
That's not how that works.
Take
by
some
the
from
way.
Laporta.
You don't go
Not
into a
gonna
game
happen.
and say, we're going to take some from Amon-Ra. It's the game flow. And
And
I think there's going to
exactly.
be moments where
So, okay,
J-Mo makes impactful
thank you for making
plays.
he already was, by the way, but thank you for making my point. Amon-Ra and game flow is more important
we're having two
than
different
J-Mo.
arguments. We're having two different
If
arguments.
you're talking about game flow, Amon-Ra is going to get the ball way more.
I'm not having two different arguments, and this is where the misunderstanding is. Amon-Ra is going to get his 100 catches. No one's arguing catches,
120.
brother. Okay, cool. Offensive Player of the Year, which I don't agree with, but cool. You can have that take. The take is he had a career high in yards. With you brought up the stat, by the way, in that chair. J-Mo's targets in the first half of the year. And he had a career high in yards.
That was just
What was that?
So how
was that?
How can you sit here
Take that
and agree with me?
back.
Agree with me a week or two ago and say today it's crazy, and you made the same argument I made.
I'm not saying it's insane.
You agreed with
but
me 2
all
weeks
I'm
ago.
saying is they're not taking targets away. J-Mo's going to have to still make more plays with similar targets as he has the last
So
2
his
years.
targets will not increase next
Maybe what, 10? 1 a game?
Well, over under next
What?
year targets for J-Mo, would you guys say 110?
No,
over under.
This is the
What did he have
conversation.
last year?
102.
Well, okay, so
I would go over. I would go 110 targets.
what did he have last year?
102. By the way, you need to take back the thing. That was just so disrespectful.
My point is
That
when
was
you
crazy.
sat in that chair and agreed with me, you're contradicting everything.
What
you're
did
saying.
I agree with you on?
We talked about J-Mo the first half of last year with John Morton, how he barely got targeted, and you sat in the chair and said, "This guy, if you just gave him more targets, he would be."
Well, that's because last year he was getting no targets.
And that's not going to happen. Would you agree
I'm
with that?
saying
this
just
year?
he can get his normal. Like, let's look at the game log right now. He had a target in Cincinnati. He had 1 target in
He had
Cincinnati.
2 games with 0
He had
targets.
Tampa Bay with 2 targets. Like, yeah, in my point last year when I'm sitting here agreeing with you, it's not me saying, hey, he needs to get 12 targets a game like Amon-Ra.
Never said that.
4 to 6.
Never said that. Am I saying he should get as many targets as Amon-Ra?
It's just
St.
like in
Brown?
Chicago. He had 4 targets
Did I
for
ever
100
say
yards.
once he should get as many targets as Amon-Ra? I go to you, Caleb.
No, you didn't
Okay,
say that.
thank you.
I never said that
so
either.
you're changing, moving the goalpost.
No, I'm not.
What I'm saying,
Caleb.
What I'm,
Did I say
here.
that at all? All I said was you're not taking 2 or 3 targets a game from Amon-Ra and giving them.
What I'm saying is J-Mo will get more targets this year and have 1,200 yards.
Hand up. Can I say
So
something?
you disagree with that
Can,
take?
can we just go? Can we go to the Big 2 camera real quick? Because I just want to say this. Hand up. Jeff right now is worked up. I don't even know what he's arguing right now. I'm so confused.
Because you're lost in a blender. We're having a simple conversation.
I'm genuinely
J-Mo's
confused on what
targets
you're
are
getting
going
worked
to
up
go
and
up
mad
this
about.
year.
What?
J-Mo's targets are going to go up this year. Yes or no?
1 target a game.
Yes,
Okay,
thank
but
you.
Jeff.
So that he agrees. His targets will go up this year. He'll get more of an opportunity.
You got to help me out here, Caleb. 'cause
It's
I don't
not
know what he's
necessarily helping.
been so
I just
worked
want to
out
clarify.
up
I
front.
just want to clarify. Okay,
I'm confused.
So
I just asked you a question. You agree with it?
I'm
yes,
confused
but
what your thing is.
But you
issue is.
saying that J-Mo's going to get more targets this year, I guess there's other ways to put it, but that means it's going to take away targets from other
That's
guys.
how targets.
I
work,
understand,
guys.
but I don't know if they're gonna do that. Your offense is better when Amon-Ra St. Brown gets 10 targets a game, 11 targets
So
a
let
game.
me ask you this question real quick. Can I ask you this question? Because this you're saying this is how targets work.
Yeah, and you just agree with me. He's going to
So
get more
let's
targets.
just say,
so we agree.
for example, I don't know the exact number.
I don't
so-
think he does, by the way. I think
Okay,
he
so
gets the same.
me and Booner agree.
Hold on,
You disagree.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He just
All right.
okay. So you don't agree.
Stop getting worked up. I just want to ask you this one question. You just asked me one, and I just want to ask. Let's just say last year, I don't have the exact number, Amon-Ra got 8 targets a game. Example.
Yeah, and J-Mo in the first
Hold
half
on.
averaged 2.
You're not.
Continue.
You don't have to tell me to continue. I can continue whenever. Does Amon-Ra St. Brown's targets per game go down this year?
J-Mos are going to increase.
You're not answering my question.
That's
You
how that
won't
works.
answer my
Dude.
question.
If you want to take them from whoever, cool.
I'm asking you a simple question, just like I answered.
You're making this an Amon-Ra versus J-Mo thing. It's not.
Caleb,
It's a J-Mo
Caleb,
thing.
it's this simple. He asked me, Booner, does J-Mo's
I don't
target?
care whose
Hold
targets
on,
it
hold
takes
on.
from Tesla. I don't
I
care.
get it, you're worked up.
It's
Caleb,
not about
I
Amon-Ra.
said, hey, he asked me a simple question. Does J-Mo targets go up this year? I said, yes. By an average, it will go up. All I asked as a counter is, will Amon-Ra's go up or down? That's all I ask. Why can't he answer that question?
Because you're making it an Amon-Ra versus Jamo thing. It's
question.
not. Targets. How many people on an offense get targeted? Is it just two receivers that play football?
Why won't you
on the Lions?
I answered your question. Why won't you answer that question?
I don't know. Targets are going to go from.
It's a simple does it go up or down?
Because you think you're not hearing me. You're thinking the only way Jamo can get more targets is if it comes away from Amon-Ra. That's ridiculous.
I'm just so
There's
confused
other players on offense that get the ball.
I answered your question about Jamo because that's the conversation.
Because you're asking a completely different question.
No, it's not. I'm asking you because I'm going to follow it up with what about Sam Laporta?
All these other players.
Why did you answer that one?
Because Amon-Ra he's always going to produce. He's always going to get targeted. I would rather take.
See how you
just
answered the question? Like I was going to go down the line there. Sam Laporta, Jamo,
Amon-Ra. But here's the thing: Amon-Ra can still get his, and Jamo can still have a good year. You've had years where two receivers go off and play well. That's the point.
So I'm asking you.
This isn't an Amon-Ra versus
Jamo. You think
Jamo
Jamo goes up and Amon-Ra stays the same?
I don't know. Amon-Ra.
I mean, what are we doing here today, man?
You're yelling. You're not hearing me.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I said this yesterday.
Jiminy Cricket.
I literally said it yesterday. Amon-Ra had 1,400 plus yards this year, or last year. He's probably going to be in the 1,300 ballpark, somewhere around there. So similar. You think he has an offensive player of the year? So we clearly are on two different pages.
But again, I think Jamo still goes about, I still think he has the years that he's had the last 2 years, and he could have a production increase. I don't think that's crazy. I've said that to you already.
We got to go to break, bro.
I said that
you
from the jump.
just agreed with me at the end. Let's go to break.
I've
Let's
said
get the hell
that
out
from
of
the
here.
jump.
Hear about our friends from Thrive, Boone. I can
Thrive.
tell you guys about
Thrive.
Let's get out of here.
Most people think energy comes in a 16-ounce can full of sugar and neon-colored liquid, but you know better. It's time to upgrade your game. Jeff, probably, I'm going to get him some Thrive here on the break so his brain can click a little bit more. This isn't your daddy's dip, your Dan Campbell's dip. It's a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse, packing 300 milligrams of clean, smart caffeine, including alpha-GPC and L-theanine. You get no jitters, no sugar crash, and zero bloating. Thrive, it can be found on dipstop.com, and you can use our promo code WSN for 15% off your entire order. You can also find them at the all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. It's Thrive, clean energy, zero distractions. They just effing work.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
All right, let me tell you about Mad Packs real quick. I
There
might
we
have
go,
to give
Caleb.
Booner and Jeff some Mad Packs because I'm afraid they're going to fist fight each other right now. We need to calm them down. But if you're a fan of Mad Packs, you already know they bring the heat. But this summer, they're shaking things up with some massive new drops. Get ready for Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and high-low 200 milligram live resin alongside the brand new Mad Packs extracts. These are the perfect additions to your summer plans. Learn more at getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
We're back. It's Crunch Time, Woodward Sports. We're live, 11 to 1. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We got more to get to. Actually, we have to get to these super chats. If you could rip those for us, Caleb.
I got a couple here.
We deserve to honor the people.
By the way, I still think Jeff needs to take back the duh.
All right, I take it back. If you take back everything you argued about Jamo and then walked it back at the end of the segment.
I'm just
I'm
asking.
confused which side you're on.
All right, real
You-
quick.
you
real
know
quick,
what
real
side
quick,
I'm on.
real quick.
I don't.
First one, Michael Weary, shout out. This is when the doc was on. He was talking about a lot of mouths to feed in the offense. He said, offensively, that's a good problem to have. And then Michael Weary, again, with the $2. He said, Jamo will get more targets because he earned them.
I agree.
Yeah, which, I mean...
Who are you taking those targets from? Caleb?
Apparently, it's just Amon-Ra.
No,
He's the only one you can take targets from.
I'm on the
Booner
side,
said.
and
but also too,
I'm on the side where I think he doesn't get more targets this year, and that's not. And
I
that's
respect
nothing
that.
against
But
him.
what I'm
You're
being
standing
told
on it.
as well, what I'm being told is Isaac Tesla's about to have a big year as well. He's going
Who
to
said that?
Everyone in the
Not
world.
me. Never said that.
Does Isaac Tesla's numbers increase this
No,
year?
they don't. They actually go down.
Wow.
Because he
Breaking
can't get
news.
involved as much as he
You
did
know what?
last year. Bro, you don't listen. I said this 40 times on
I got one more real
I've said
quick.
this plenty of times on the show.
From
Consistency.
Joe, $2. He says there's more than 2 receivers, Booner.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So you can take targets away from everyone, but Amon-Ra?
I mean, we're talking about the guy. When we're talking about taking targets away, the guy gets 140 targets a year. If you're like, hey, we need to take. Typically, you go to the top of the list and go, who gets the
Why?
most? Maybe take. That's what I'm asking. Why would you do that to Amon-Ra?
I've never said that.
You know what? If I
You're
would do
putting
anything,
words
give
in my
Amon-Ra
mouth.
the ball even more.
Cool. You can do that, and J-Mo can still have a good year.
Danny G said, Booner, shut up. Jeff will turn the car around. I'll pull this car over right now.
I just it's like the Matthew Stafford. I mean, Puka Nacua gets fed, Devontae gets fed. Like, yeah, they have a plethora of tight ends they use. Why can't 2 receivers have a great year and everyone else gets targets taken away?
He could still have a great year with this. He did it last year. He had 100 targets with a great year. That's what I'm saying is going to happen again. I think it's going to be a very similar season.
Yeah, okay. And his targets are going to increase. I disagree with you. Okay. And I think his production will go up.
Okay.
Because he got 2.8 targets in the first half of last year. And I think he gets more than that.
Again,
is that a crazy take?
No. I don't
think
think it's a crazy take
He
at
got
all.
2.8 targets to start the season.
Up until with John Morton calling plays, it was like 2 and
because he had
2
5,
point something.
4, 3, 8, 1, 7, 2, 6, 7, 7. I don't know where you would get 2 out of that.
Which games are you looking at?
All of them. I'm going from the jump. Let's just do the math here. Let's just do the first half of it. When did Dan Campbell take over?
Washington.
Washington.
Before
okay.
Washington.
We'll go to Washington. So 5 targets plus 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 1 7 2 6. That's how many games? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. He averaged 4.5 targets a game, so double of what you were saying.
2.8 catches, excuse me. 4 targets.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Same thing. I mean, he's going to get more
than
than 4.
Targets and catches are 2 different things.
No, I'm saying same thing. Like, he should get more than 4 targets in a game. He should. He's your number 2 wide receiver.
And then let's see what he got when Dan Campbell took over. I
Please,
think this is a good conversation. Yeah.
Because when Dan took over, he's like, yeah, we should probably start giving this guy the fucking ball. And that's what I think happens this
year. Did have, I will say, to your point, he did have a stretch where he had 10 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets, 9 targets.
So over double what John Morton was giving him. That's the point I'm making.
But let's say, so with Dan Campbell, there was a lot of, 6-target games. I'm not a mathematician. I think that's the word. But if he got 6 targets for 17 games, that's the same exact number he had last year. And I think that's where he's going to be at.
So if
6 targets a game.
If it's a Dan Campbell offense, right, he averaged 7 a game in Dan Campbell's offense. That targets, not catches, targets. If he did that for a whole 17 games, he would have 125 targets a game, approximately.
Then I'll get fucked if that happens.
Yeah, me too. That's fine.
It's a part of the game.
It is what it is.
What did Jeff say to you last segment that you wanted to take back?
And by the way, what was Amon-Ra?
That's so disrespectful, dude.
And here's the thing. We can look at, too, with the John Morton era, him calling plays. I remember a handful of those targets. Terrible.
Yeah, there was the one game. I think it was.
You don't think Drew Petzing's going to design plays?
He for sure will.
To make sure J-Mo gets the ball.
But again, perspective.
John Morton
context,
had that man running go routes.
Again, context, Caleb, to back your argument. And listen, I'm almost at the point to where, because I did say I don't know if it's going to be he says a 100-yard increase. I'm just kind of, hey, it's going to be the same. Caleb, you think it might be less. So I'm right now I'm sitting here kind of in the middle. I will say this.
Now you're in the middle.
But
so you're closer to my side now.
You're telling me to be honest. I'm being honest. So stop with the now you're doing.
I respect you coming a little closer.
I'm being real with you, so don't give me this.
He's inching closer.
Don't give me the sarcastic. Don't give me the sarcastic stuff.
We almost got him.
Context to this: he averaged 7.5 targets a game, correct? With Dan Campbell, no Sam Laporta. So you do have to put that into account a little bit, if we're being honest. So let's say it might be around 6.
Everybody got more, but here's the thing: everybody got more catches without Sam Laporta,
which is fair. But when Sam comes back, it maybe takes 1 to 2 away from J-Mo.
No one knows any of this shit. This is why, this whole take this guy, take away from this guy, take away from this guy. We're doing math. You don't know. Jameer had a game with 8 catches in a game. There's so many things factors in. The offensive line was bad. They had to check the ball down. This whole it's a waste of time in my opinion to be well, they got to come from, take 2 from Amon-Ra. That's what you're saying. No, I don't know. Give the guy more touches, point blank. I don't give a shit where they come from. Amon-Ra, I'm not going to
that's an easy way.
I'm not going to sit here and say Amon-Ra should get less targets because of this. He's a great player. Someone else has to fucking suffer, though. Like, I don't know who it is. But J-Mo deserves to get the ball
Caleb,
more.
I'm just going to talk to you on this. It's easy to just to be like, well, someone has to. You have who? You have to have that. That's part of the conversation.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So just being like someone, I don't know who, and I don't care. No, that's part of the conversation.
So we have to do the math and take away 1 from here.
Well, no, I think it's a conversation where you're like, hey, if J-Mo's going to have a bigger year, someone's going to suffer from it. Okay, just tell me who. That's all I ask. It's not. I don't think that's the craziest question.
But you were okay. But we're having. As long as everyone can just understand, because this is never gonna end. J-Mo, I think, is a better player. He's gonna get more targets, and he's gonna be a big part of this offense this year. He's not gonna be a seller like he was with John Morton. So if you agree with that, shout out.
We do have a big segment coming up, by the way. We got to talk Jared Goff today.
And it relates to Jared Goff.
We have to talk Jared Goff. I don't know if we have to. We just did another segment on J-Mo. Do we have to go to break?
Yeah, we can go to break right now.
Let's go to break. We come back. We'll talk Jared Goff. Dark horse MVP, underrated quarterback. People are talking about him, but we're going to have a conversation. Can he be an MVP candidate this year? We'll find out. But first, we got to hear about our friends from, is this Gold Crown?
I think this is Gold
Crown,
yes. Yeah, stop everything you're doing for a second because Gold Crown just went completely overboard in the best way possible. They just dropped the new Royal Jesters, and these are not your average pre-rolls. We're talking 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, keef coated, and live resin infused with THC, diamonds, and terpenes all packed into one. That's 4 layers of, yeah, you're good after this. These aren't your hit it twice and pass it around pre-rolls. These are why am I analyzing this game like I'm a coach right now, pre-rolls. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for Royal Jesters, because if you're going to smoke like royalty.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Thrive Energy Pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Mic cord swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Thrive Energy Pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's 0 sugar, so give Thrive a try.
Go.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right, we're excited to welcome our new partners over at Founders Brewing and the legendary All Day IPA. This marks the 15th year anniversary of All Day IPA. It helped define the session of IPA category, but its fans are what made it last. It's citrusy, crisp, and refreshing with perfectly balanced taste. And at 4.7 ABV, it's built to go the distance for the entire game. So next time you're watching the game, and make it an all-day IPA from Founders. And please, guys, drink responsibly.
We're back. It's crunch time. Woodward Sports 11 to 1. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Helps push the stream out in the algorithm. We got more to get to. Jared Goff. Let's stay on the offense. We talked a lot of offense today. Jared Goff is looked at as not only an underrated player by Bucky Brooks. We wrote an article talking about how underrated Jared Goff is, but he's also, according to NFL.com, in a dark horse MVP candidate. Seems like Goff maybe underrated, but also getting the respect people would say he deserves.
Yeah.
Being looked at as a dark horse MVP candidate. And I guess we'll just start, and I'll tell you why I think this is great for Goff. I think he earned and deserves the publicity to be talked about and like in this way. I love it for Goff. I think he's done a lot in Detroit. Statistically, we talked about it. He gets 30 touchdowns this year. He's had consecutive years throwing 30 touchdowns. Not a lot of quarterbacks do that. So the consistency with Goff is something that people should be praising. But I don't think he'll be an MVP candidate this year. I just don't think so. And I'll explain why. 2024, Jared Goff had 37 passing touchdowns. Most in his career. 12 interceptions. He had over 4,600 passing yards. They ranked third in his career that year. 72.4 completion percentage. That was the highest in his career. Had a career year across the board in 2024. And the Lions were 15-2 and suffered a ton of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. So the storyline was there. The offense was carrying them. Jared Goff was having a career year. You know, they were beating all these teams, blowing them out. And he took 5th in the ballot. So do I think this year the team goes 15-2, has a record like that? No. Do I think Goff has a statistical year like he did that year? Probably not. So I don't think he'll be a dark horse MVP candidate this year. I think he has a similar year that he did in probably 2023, where I think he can get 30 passing touchdowns again and, you know, maybe around 10 picks or something like that. I think he will with the new OC, Drew Petzing. But I don't think it's going to be enough to be an MVP candidate. So I don't think he will be. But I do love that Goff's getting this type of attention because he should be in this discussion. But I just don't think he will be in the discussion.
I think that's fair. I think the number one thing, and I've said this about MVP stuff all the time. If you guys have watched our show the last couple of years, Jeff, what do I say about these awards in the NFL? What's the number one thing? It's all based off storylines. That's all it is, right? It's what's the best storyline. It's a media. Yeah, you have to put up the stats. It's the same thing with Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. You have to have the stats and all of that. But it's realistically, it was the same thing with Hutch a couple years ago. It's like it's a storyline thing, right? Like who has the coolest story going through the year and has the stats. Now, there are situations, Myles Garrett, who just went absolutely nuts last year, broke the sack record. Like, you have to give it to him. But typically, the MVP, it's guys like Drake May last year who didn't really have the greatest season that you would see out of a quarterback, but he was really good, and he was on one of the best teams in all of football, record-wise, right? That went 14-3, I believe. So there's that side of it. And, Jeff, I get it. Is he a contender for the MVP conversation? I'll say this, and I'm going to run this back. I said this back in 2024, and people say, Booner, are you ever correct when you have takes? This is one that I was correct on. What did I say going into 2024? I said Jared Goff will be in the MVP conversation, and he'll be at the NFL Awards in 2024. And what happened? They went 15-2. His statistics were there, and the reason I said that was, do you guys remember? The schedule was easy. They're going to go in there, and they're going to have a massive year, and the schedule, it was a cakewalk of a schedule, which ended up showing. And he put up numbers, and he was top 5 in MVP voting. I'm running it back this year in 2026, guys. Jared Goff will end up being in the MVP conversation at the end of the year. He's going to be top 5 in MVP voting, and it's because he's going to go out there again, and he's going to have 4,600 yards. He's going to have 35-plus touchdowns. He's going to have 7 to 8 interceptions. And guess what? That team's going to have 13 or 14 wins with the schedule that they have. And guess who is going to get all of the success from it? Jared Goff's going to get talked about. And the only reason he ended up not kind of getting pushed into that conversation a little bit more in 2024 was because those weeks, I think it was the Green Bay Packers week, as you were getting into that conversation, there was only, I remember this specifically in the sports book. Caleb, you're a sports book guy. I don't know if you remember this, but I had bets on Jared Goff to win MVP that year. And what happened was, in about weeks 15, 16, 17, they took everyone off the board for MVP, and they only had 3 or 4 guys left on there. And guess who was one of those players? And it was Jared Goff. And he ended up kind of playing himself out of that the last 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. So this is the thing for me. It's like, hey, is he going to be in that conversation? I think when you get to, and I want to pull up the Lions schedule a little bit because I did this for Aiden Hutchinson last year for the Defensive Player of the Year. I said, hey, these are the exact kind of games to look out for when you look at primetime. Does Jared Goff show up in primetime? You see here, what is it? Minnesota, week 15, 8:20 p.m. Sunday Night Football. He's going to be in the conversation come that week. You know that. If he performs in that game, guess what? It's a national award. You have to get the writers and the people who vote on it on your side. If he goes out in Sunday Night Football and they go out and dominate the Minnesota Vikings and the guy has 4 touchdowns and 300 yards, guess what's going to happen? His name's going to get pushed in there anymore. And then you look at week 16. Guess what you have the next following week, guys? You play basically the biggest market in all of sports, New York Giants. Monday Night Football, boys. It lines up perfectly. Jared Goff goes into that game. If he performs at a high level, guess what? He's in that conversation. And guess what ends the last week 17 and week 18? You go on the road to Chicago and you go on the road to Green Bay. I can guarantee you going into week 15, guys, Jared Goff will be in the MVP conversation. And if you go look at the odds in week 15, I will guarantee you he'll be top 5 in odds. I'll guarantee it right now. Now, it depends on what he does in those 4 games. That's all it comes down to. But will he be in the conversation? 100%. And he will be at SoFi Stadium next year when they do the awards.
So he'll be a finalist.
100%. He'll be a finalist again this year. And again, it's the whole thing about the schedule, dude. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. If he goes out there and puts up 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns, he's there. That's what the award's about. It's the best. It's the quarterback on the best team. If they're the number 1 seed in the NFC, guess what? He's there. Like, it's politics at that point. It really is. Will he win it? That's a different story because there's Josh Allen. You know, there's guys like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Like, there's that different level. But he's going to be a finalist. With this schedule, as long as, knock on wood, he stays healthy. I mean, dude, he's in a top 5 offense. The weapons he has around him, it's hard for him not to do that. And by the way, too, like, if people are like, well, Booner, I don't, like, dude, this is the crazy, by the way, I found the stat today. I did not know this was a thing. Jared Goff, the only quarterback in the last 3 seasons, each year to throw for over 4,500 yards, the only quarterback in the entire NFL. He's also the only quarterback in the last 3 seasons, each season, to throw for more than 30 touchdown passes.
And he's only been
the only one.
Top 5 once.
One time.
Never been.
But what was that again?
Before.
Context. What was that?
15-2.
15-2.
They're not
going to
do that a year.
If they go 13, if they win 13 or 14 games, I guarantee you.
Because you mentioned the storyline. The storyline that year was the injuries, and he kept them. They don't have that storyline, or they're not going to.
They're not media darlings anymore.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay. When they were sitting there with 13 wins this year, then we'll have that conversation.
They're going to be like, cool, they're back.
The Jared Goff will be in that conversation. If he has 4,600 yards.
He's done it the last 4 years,
touchdowns.
3 years. He's done that the last multiple. I mean, he's done both those things the last couple of years.
Well, last year they won 9 games and missed the playoffs.
But he also crapped the bed in a Christmas game.
You can't even be in the conversation of an MVP.
But my point is, you mentioned the primetime game. He played bad against the Vikings in a primetime game, so that's a real thing every year.
That's why I think
that's a real thing.
Like, if you look at this schedule, right, he could set himself up to go into those last 4 games and be in that conversation and put himself in the award show. Like, he could do that.
He could.
He's going to.
Okay, so he will.
We need to have like a running pizza bet or something on this. We did that one year. I actually got a free pizza because I think it was me and Lucas.
We can do if he will be at the awards at the end of the year.
We did that last time. There
you go. Let's go to break.
I
We get
love
back.
Free pizza,
Shit
man.
you may not know with Caleb Zarnick. But before we do that, we got to hear about our friends at Massage Chair.
Yeah, Massage Chair House. Looking to take your relaxation to the next level? Visit Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top-tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. This is your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, if you're looking for a career upgrade, check out Mortgage Pros, the #1 mortgage broker to work for in the state of Michigan. We saw their incredible company culture firsthand at their annual block party. Braylon show was over there. It looked sick, actually. It looked really fun. Their team, truly, though, they love what they do, and it shows with 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews. The reputation for them, it speaks for itself. So if you are looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros in Troy a call at 248-416-1361. Mortgage Pros, let the pros handle it.
We're back. It's crunch time, Woodward Sports. So we got our daily segment, shit you may not know with Caleb Zarnick. Caleb, tell us about some shit we may not know.
Yeah, so first one here. We'll go back. We talked about the Scooby-Doo thing that was happening yesterday. Again, not a Scooby-Doo guy. But
fair.
One thing I am a fan of is the Cars series, and they're coming back with a 20th anniversary.
Dude,
No, not a Cars 4 or whatever. What was the last one they made?
I don't know.
3?
Is this a Mater one?
No, it's not a new movie. It's coming back into theaters, 20th anniversary. And my question to you guys is, where do you guys rank Cars among
Cars
childhood movies?
Well, I'll say this. From my childhood, I'm not going to act like I'm like the oldest guy ever, but Cars wasn't like really big until I was like a little bit older.
It doesn't matter. It's still
so
awesome.
I
still watch it now.
I liked Cars. Cars is an all-time great. I think Cars is incredible. But like growing up, I was watching like, I don't know, like a Goofy movie or something. So that's like my all-time favorite.
The Addams Family.
Wait, what's a
shit.
Goofy? Are you saying Goofy as like an adjective, or is Goofy like a
Goofy like?
You've never seen a Goofy movie? Am I the
who
only
are we
one
talking about right now?
You've never seen
Like
the
the Goofy.
Goofy from Disney. A Goofy movie?
Dude, I
With
don't know
Max?
what you're talking about.
You don't know Goofy?
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
Hold on. Let me look this up.
There's just no way you've never. I mean, yeah, like Mickey Mouse.
Dude, she's trying to help you. It's from Mickey Mouse, bro.
Okay, I got it.
You've
now.
never
I got
seen
it,
a
but
guy doesn't know
no, but
Goofy?
I've never seen it. But
Cars.
No. You know Booner Truce. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, no, hey, this guy sucks,
Yeah,
dude.
so I'm getting shit on my segment.
This guy Goofy
stinks.
Cars is up there for sure.
Yeah,
you know?
Cars is an all-time great. What's like? I want to ask this. What's like the greatest?
Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Monsters Inc. or Toy Story
that's
3.
A good one. That's a good one. Toy Story. I would put Toy Story above Cars.
Toy Story's unbelievable.
I-
New Toy Story coming out too, by the way.
Yeah, shit's
Yeah.
good. Toy Story 4 was awful.
No.
Really?
Why are we 5 movies deep into the Toy Story
It's
saga?
the fourth one was awful. It was
never
terrible.
seen- I haven't
seen the
It's
fourth
going to
one.
be even worse.
Number
3
3
is
the
where
goated.
it ends. I don't understand. Yes, 3 is the best Toy Story movie.
3 was phenomenal.
But
but
you
4
have to,
was
out of
garbage.
respect, though, you have to see the fifth one.
No.
It's out of respect.
Yeah. No. Well.
Like we can't just leave Woody on the side of the road. Like, you gotta go get like Woody. Hey, we got you, bro.
Incredibles is the best.
That's a
animated
good
movie.
one.
Yeah, they have a good
Incredibles
argument.
is
I think
good.
Monsters Inc. and Incredibles would probably be my 1, 2. Toy Story 3, probably 3.
fair.
Inside Out, you guys ever see that movie? That movie's phenomenal.
No.
That's 4. But
I
yeah, and then
generally-
Cars would probably be 5 for me. Cars is
Okay.
great. So yeah, they're coming back in theaters, 20th anniversary. And we talked about the other day also like sports memorabilia. I thought this was cool right
Bug's
here.
Life?
So
Sorry.
no, not a fan of Bug's Life.
Great
That movie sucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
that movie's
on,
awful.
guys. Bug's Life was awesome.
Dude, I can't finish.
Ice Age?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Ice Age. All right, sorry, Caleb.
No,
I'm looking at the
you're
list
good.
here. It's incredible, some of the movies out there.
You're good. This one we talked about sports memorabilia, how they were going to sell Taylor Swift's chair from the Eastern Conference Finals. This one I thought was pretty cool. So Kevin McGonigal hit a walk-off, I believe that was Saturday or Sunday, and Topps is coming out with a card. I think it's a one-of-one card. They're putting the base inside of the card. I'm not sure how that's 100% possible.
The full base?
Yeah,
Or
it's
just
not
a
the
piece
full
of the
base.
base?
That'd be a ginormous card, Booner. I don't know if that'd be
You're
considered a
walking out
card.
with, like, a full-
But I think you could see it on the screen, like that little thing right there. That's a part of the base that he used for the walk off, which I think is
now
pretty
that
cool.
I can get behind. Like selling Taylor Swift's seat, or like Travis. That's weird, bro. That's weird. But like that, a piece of a base, like
Yeah,
that's
that's
sweet.
sick. And
That's
there's still
sweet.
dirt on it too. By the way, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so stuck on these movies. Someone said Madagascar in the chat.
You
That's
know the
all-time
two
great.
movies that I never
Just
really
so
got
good.
into.
Lucas put in there Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge is
the Hedge.
phenomenal.
Over the Hedge.
is Klotzy. I mean,
That's an all-star cast.
That's
have
a great pull.
I have
Klotzy.
something to admit. Sometimes I do go just watch cartoon movies like that. Like
Yeah,
I
dude,
do
feel
all
good
like the
movies.
other
When
couple
I'm
weeks ago. I
hungover on a
watched.
Sunday, I'll turn them on.
Dude, I'll be like heading to bed and I'm throwing Monsters Inc. on. I did it a couple weeks ago. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, it's great. Monsters University, phenomenal. I mean, they're
Yeah, it's
they're all great. I mean, there's a couple that I watch. You're like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of those movies.
They're the best.
You ever see Monsters University?
Yeah, 100. I saw it in theaters actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw. Okay, it's confession time. I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters with my. I think it was my sister and my mom. I was young. Cried in the movie theater. Cried when they gave the toys away.
Oh, dude.
And we actually me and my roommates actually just watched it. Toy Story 3. And I was nervous when that part was coming up. I was going to have to leave the room because I was going to start crying in front of my roommates. But,
I mean, Etienne in the chat, he says, and Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo's
I think that's overrated.
Someone in there put Shark Tale. I used to watch Shark Tale all the time. Like, it would be like, as a kid growing up, I'd put a movie on every night. I'd be like, I want Shark Tale. It was so good.
Someone just put in there, Marcus, I'll start the bidding at $100 for Swift's toilet seat. Okay. Why are we doing this, guys?
I mean, if you're an investor, I mean, it's a good investment.
He said toilet seat.
Yeah, that's a good investment. You could probably flip that in like 10 years or something.
Okay, move on. Caleb, we got to get out of here. What do we got? What else we got?
We got one more here. Again, not a politics show, but our president, our president Donald Trump was at the NBA Finals game, fell asleep. I think we saw the video, and
he's setting us up.
This isn't a Mike Cox thing. Yeah, I have the video. I don't know if we could play it though.
He said this isn't a Mike Cox thing.
This isn't a Mike. Yeah, we have the video. Trump falling asleep here, and then hold on. I'm gonna take the audio off this.
I mean, this shot of Caleb just
fell asleep.
Looks like they're all.
Yeah, but
that's the Knicks owner, right?
Yeah, so then Stephen A. Smith calls him out and said something, or Donald Trump got asked about Stephen A. Smith and about being president. Donald Trump said he doesn't have a high enough IQ. Stephen A. Smith said he'd debate him.
Dude.
So my question
It's
for
like
you
the
guys is
WWE.
how much would you guys pay pay-per-view to watch a Stephen A. Smith versus Donald Trump debate?
Debate? Honestly, when it comes up, I'd be like, I don't care.
I think I'm tapped in.
I don't know if I am.
I think I'm tapped in.
Dude, I think it would be hilarious.
I think I'm tapped in.
It would be like me and
I'm
Jeff's
an entertainment
argument the whole
guy.
time.
You know, like I like to. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been watching Love Island. Terrible.
Dude, get real.
Shit
I
sucks.
tried.
But I keep
I'm
watching.
Not a fan.
I had one of my friends from Saginaw was on one of those shows, so I was dialed. A great show, by the way. Have you guys seen Age of Attraction?
I don't even want to.
That's my friend's.
The point I was making with
is that the one on Netflix, the age gap one?
Yeah.
Oh
One of my
God,
friends
your
is on
friend
that
was
show.
on that
Yeah.
show?
Shout out Logan. Absolute legend. He watches the show sometimes.
The point I was making with that is I'm all for like entertainment. You know, like
Stephen A. Smith is grade
I
A
feel like that's
entertainment.
entertainment.
It is,
I'm
but
dialed
like,
in. I'm locked in.
hey, hot take. Stephen A. is going to be president one day.
Bro, get
No,
up.
he's not.
No,
he's not.
We could have a long-going 30-year pizza bet. It's going to happen.
I think you have a better chance to become governor of Michigan than Stephen A. Smith.
He has been setting himself up to be president.
What there's
I'm not
no
saying.
shot.
I'm not
Define
saying like
setting yourself up.
Well,
like,
no,
what-
like
what is
he's
that?
actually like
saying you want to
there's
do
been
it. Okay, I want to
No,
date
no,
Cindy
no.
Sweeney. That means I'm setting myself up to date Cindy Sweeney.
There has been actual like sources just saying that like he is preparing, like he's like studying, he's like doing stuff to prepare to run one day.
Okay, cool. You can do it all you want. I mean,
So like there's a chance that he actually runs.
okay.
I don't think there's a chance.
I mean,
And
we're.
Mike G said Stephen A. would win. It's Stephen A. Smith.
He's not winning, bro.
He has the whole sports grasp of it.
What?
Like the fan base.
Danny G said, and it's disrespectful.
It's the country
Caleb
voting.
is the Skip Bayless of Disney movie takes.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's that serious. What take did I have that was?
You got fried.
Which movie did I say I didn't like that? That is like a
You
I
crapped
think,
on.
I think they were just all mad that you don't even know what the
you
Goofy
said
movie
Finding
was.
Nemo's
yeah, that was messed
overrated.
up. Yeah, Nemo
Like
is
some
overrated.
of these takes you're spewing out. You didn't know who Goofy was.
Yeah, that was messed up.
I mean,
That's on
let's
me.
just call a spade outside of sports. Caleb's takes, all-time worst.
It's actually fucked up that you said
But
that.
you know it's true. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
You hate everything.
No, that's not true. Just because I don't like Al Michaels on Thursday Night Football doesn't mean I hate everything.
You hate a lot of things, man.
No, I don't. Just the things. A lot of the things you like. Booner, you're a lover of everything.
I do.
You're a
enjoy,
and that's
I'm
that,
a nice person.
Yeah, you're a lover of everything, and there's some things that I don't enjoy that you don't enjoy, and you just call me a hater about everything, like Al Michaels, and whoever is his.
Whoa, is this true?
What?
Terry Foster had a boxing match with Rob
He's told
Parker.
that story a ton of times. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that.
We
story.
need to get the video.
There's no video.
What?
Yeah, bro. There's no video.
Who won?
What do you think?
T-Foss.
Uncle T.
Shout out T-Foss, man.
Rob Parker tapped out. Uncle T, he took care of business, man. Yeah, we did tell that story before.
Sorry, Caleb. What we were saying, that was like.
Yeah, you're ADD.
I'd say you just called me a hater, and then that was kind of it with that.
What
But
else we got,
could
Caleb?
That's it. We could go to break.
All right, let's go to break. Let me tell you. Or Caleb, you tell the people about what the heavies are doing, man.
Yeah,
Subathon.
Friday, June 19th, 5 o'clock. Mark your calendars. It's the Woodward Heavyweight Subathon. You guys run it. The chat runs it. Every time you donate, it adds more time to the clock, so you guys hold the power. They could be live for 1,000,000 days in a row if you guys just keep donating. So, yeah, Woodward Heavyweights, Friday, June 19th at 5 o'clock. Yeah, you guys hold all the power. Make sure you tune in to that.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
All right, if you're looking for the perfect spot to host your next party or get-together, head over to Black Rock Bar and Grill, home of the steak on the stone. Whether it's a graduation party, baby shower, rehearsal dinner, or your next big watch party, Black Rock has all of the food and drinks and atmosphere that makes it unforgettable. The best part about it, they literally have anything for everyone. They have cocktails, mocktails, they have salads. Jeff loves their salads, stacked burgers, desserts, and they do have their famous steaks cooked right on the rock or chef prepared to perfection. Make sure you book your next event today at Black Rock Bar and Grill and find a location near you, blackrockrestaurants.com.
We're back. Crunch time, Woodward Sports. Get those mailbag questions ready. Kamikaze, shout out, my guy. He says, Jeff, there's a series on Hulu that's like Love Island. I think you'll probably be interested. I'm good.
I tried with the Love Island.
I've never seen Love Island.
It's just people making out for basically the entire show.
The only show similar to that
not
outside of the one that my friends on that I've watched, there's this one on, I think, Netflix, or maybe it's HBO, where someone has $1 million cash, and it's in the room, and there's like 15 people in the house, and they give it to someone in one of their rooms, and they can't say who it is, and you have to like try and go around the house without getting caught. And the last person standing with the million wins. That's sick. Like, I would love to be on that show.
Yeah, well, listen, I think we can all agree there's some brain rot shows we all enjoy, okay? I like rotten, you know what I mean? I like watching some shit where you're like Jersey Shore back then. I was watching, dude, Jersey Shore's amazing. Yeah. Like, there's some shows I like just I like just turning my brain off and watching something ridiculous.
My brainwash show.
But then there's some shows where you're like, all right, like, this stinks.
My brainwash
Obviously,
show is
America
just Friends.
disagrees with me.
That's it.
But I don't know.
I watch his Friends.
America
all the
loves
time.
Love Island, dude. I mean, it's massive.
I don't know if
Am I the only one
brain
here?
I don't know if that's
What?
a brain rot.
Friends?
No, I love Friends.
That's like my all-time favorite. That's my brain rot every night. Just
everyone has a brain
that or
rot
Entourage.
Show. Let's see. Neil Rules in the chat. He says, Mailbag, when is Randy making his Crunch Time debut?
That's my father. It's my dad.
Does he want to debut?
You could have him on.
Does he got some good takes?
Neil had him on in Big D a couple weeks ago.
No, Neil. Shout out, yeah. He's more than welcome. I mean,
let's get Randy on. What does Randy? What does he know? Like, what
does
we
he
talking
like?
about?
What sports is it?
Tigers, Wings.
He'll talk any sports with you. He's just a dad.
All right, we gotta get Randy on.
See, that's like different perspective though. It takes like I've talked to. My dad has crazy takes. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Ridiculous. He pronounces. Shout out to, Jeff Senior. He says every player on the Lions' name wrong. He can't get a single player right, dude. I swear to God. But he loves. I don't know. It's just like once you reach a certain age, you just fuck up every name. I guess. Shout out to him. Jesse, mailbag. Is this a make or break year for TA in the front office? Coach's mind. Second, do you think Decker will get picked up by a team during fall camp, after camp? It is a make or break year. Yes, I do think for TA, and I do think Decker. I don't know. We'll see with this Rams situation.
That's why I tweeted out yesterday about that. Like, is that something that Lions fans would be a little upset about if he ends up in LA and somehow wins a Super Bowl with Stafford?
I don't care where he goes, honestly.
I would care if he goes win a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. That would bother me.
I mean, yeah.
I know it's like he wasn't great
but
anyways.
It's his right. You cut him, so I wouldn't be mad. It is what it is.
That would suck.
He got cut, you know? Krug Daddy, mailbag. The Tigers are 6-1 in the last 7 games and only 8 games out of first place in the Central. Are you still selling at the deadline, or are you buying it for first or second?
What was my rule yesterday, guys? We wait until these 2 series are done. If they win both of these series, we're back in. That's it, point blank. That's it.
Back in, and then you're buyers at the deadline?
I mean, they never are buyers, but you're back in like, hey, we're going on a run here. We're going to try and make this thing work. Like, we're not selling everyone. If you want to sell Skubal, if you win these 2 series and then when the trade deadline comes around, you have a chance. If you want to sell Skubal, okay, be my guest because you get assets, but you just keep running this thing going. You just go.
Yeah. You have 2 months to really figure this thing out, I guess, before the deadline. But I will say that win yesterday was huge. You lose the lead early, then you hit a couple homers. That was a huge win for them. At home, too. Rain delay. Troy Melton looked good again. It's a good win. They're starting to play better baseball here in June.
When some of these guys like Glaber, when he's playing well, when Riley's playing well, this game, the team changes. That's why like my point with you guys, like when you guys are like, we're out on this. It's like, hey, when like Glaber does get healthy, yeah, he's not a player that's going to change your whole team forever, but it does get like there's a different vibe in that clubhouse. I'm sure. Like for sure, they're 100%.
Definitely, but the thing that's happened, it happened, last year. It happened the year before. The problem that the Tigers have had, obviously injuries this year, is their, you could call it their core right now. Like the Green, the Glaber, even the McKinstry right now who's playing better baseball. McGonigal, like they get hot at the same time and they get cold at the same time. Mm-hmm. And you need to complement each other in the lineup. In the past 2 years, they just haven't done that. Torque is another guy. When he's hot, you see Riley hitting better. So if they could just, some players go cold. Like if Torque goes cold, you need Glaber to get hot. If Riley Green goes cold, you need McGonigal to play really well for 5 games. And that's just what they haven't been doing for the past 2 years. So if they could stay consistent, they're going to be playing better baseball.
Hey, you want to hit one? I got one.
Well,
here.
I was reading a couple. Just
Stevens.
We can get to that.
What's Governor Boone's first executive order?
Okay, fired away.
No taxes on gambling.
There you go.
It's out.
I
don't know what that money goes to. We'll figure it out.
Elgato says, man, why Jeff wearing a sweater? It's 87 degrees outside, bro. Hand up. That's not me, okay? Obviously, I walked outside today, a little gloomy. Didn't really click until I got here that I made a grave mistake. Mm-hmm. And the issue is I can't take it off. So we're
why can't you?
Because I have a wife beater under it. So either I walk around the office in a wife beater, or I have to suffer in 87-degree weather.
You're Lucas Klotz.
If I was Lucas Klotz, I'd probably just rock the wife beater. But tough. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
We were down in Nashville, and you and Lucas just in the middle of the bar, just rip those out.
KJ mailbag. How quickly would Terry knock Booner out?
Okay, let's just say this: prime Terry, probably quick. Terry now, I don't know.
Say what you want to say.
Yeah, I would destroy Terry right now. No offense. He's a little bit older.
Dude, that's
let's call a spade. We all know that. But prime Terry, like we're talking about like Terry in his prime, I'll probably lose.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, shout out Terry, man. Danny G, mailbag. I'm genuinely pissed off. Anyone can stomach calling Finding Nemo overrated.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel like I sparked something here, and maybe I need to apologize. I might get canceled. I don't know if I need to put out an apology video, but look, I've watched it a few times. I tried to enjoy it. it just doesn't. There's movies I would take over Finding Nemo in terms of cartoons.
Finding Nemo is all time. That's a good one.
Well, on the show on that,
I've never seen. Isn't there a Finding Dory?
It's even worse.
I've never even.
I don't know. I actually genuinely don't.
I know there's a Dory.
Is there a Dory one?
Yeah. Don't even waste your time.
Oh no. Don't waste the time.
And for the people out there, Caleb has a lot of bad takes outside of sports. That's just one of them.
Yeah, we could end the show with that. On a bad note, saying Caleb's stupid. Let's do that. No, let's do that.
But Caleb also, positive note, Caleb's really fast.
That's true. I am.
You said you beat him in a race.
Yeah, I'm faster. Really set yourself up. All right. Let's get out of here, guys.
All right. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, 11 to 1 a.m. Until
Love you
then.
guys.
Or 11 to 1 p.m. Peace.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.